Ladies and gentlemen, Garfield and friends.
We're ready to party! We're ready. I hope you bring lots of spaghetti.
I'm scared.
Come on in, come to the place where fun never ends. Come on in, it's time to party with Garfield and friends. Dancing,
Fiesta,
romancing,
siesta,
samba,
la bamba, ay caramba, disguises, surprises, and pies of all sizes.
Come on in, come to the place where fun never ends. Come on in, it's time to party with Garfield and friends. Come on in, it's time to party with Garfield and friends. Garfield and friends.
And pay attention. There'll be a test at the end.
Hello? Hello? Is this thing on? Hello? Welcome to another, Expand Dog stream. May have thought I was gonna say something else, right? I hope everyone's doing well. For the people watching this in the near and immediate, and perhaps even far-flung future, it is, 2 in the morning for me. 3 a.m. in time zones that matter more than my own. And, midnight in time zones that matter even more than that time zone. I apologize in advance if my energy levels may be lower than what you usually come to expect from a Swollen Dingus or Expand Dog style stream. I hope everyone's doing well. This is a different style stream than usual. I'm usually playing games on Twitch or restreaming the guys' pre-stream on the YouTubes. And before that, this channel was just for dumping VODs on. But I've had this idea for a while now. And I've been stalling on it, not gonna lie. So I figure it was time. The time was right, I feel, to finally get in on it. Big ups to the swollen ones, the expanded dogs who are here to dance, such as Brian, Doomer Ziggy, Rydrake, Ghost MC, Shroom, Duke Dem, Big Ben, JC, led here by the algorithm allegedly. So I must be doing something right. Right. The one and only Zitro Zealousy, and everyone else that's lurking or maybe watching this in the future for posterity purposes. Right. In regards to DSP stuff that happened today, I skipped the day and night stream. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't see anything. Maybe I saw like a minute of some schizo ranting on the pre-stream while getting ready for the stuff I was doing today on Tevin's birthday stream. It's Tevin's birthday. Whoa, pretty cool, right? Like that guy. But other than that, I don't really know what happened today. There were some clips I saw when I had opportunities to. I know he did some PDF file guarding and shit talk Sunny V2. I saw that, and that's pretty much it. Zonked out. And zilch on the night stream. He did some community lobbies, yada yada. I'm sure whatever is of worth from that stream will be clipped for me to watch tomorrow. Or rather, the thing I was paying attention to today was the the Ethan Ralph versus Nick Fuentes drama. I saw the entire Kino Casino, you guys. Or well, I had it in my ear at 2%. Basically, Ralph has finally burned the Nick Fuentes bridge that we were expecting him to burn. I just didn't think it would come this soon. Fuentes, well, Benjamin already alluded to it in the chat. Fuentes was holding a rally today where he was muted for the first 10 minutes. Andy and PPP were restreaming the whole thing. Very underwhelming, very low energy, even lower than the energy levels of which I am conveying my words to you right now. Very much a snoozer stream, debate. Speech he gave. Ralph intended to attend this snoozer rally, but consequences as a result of his drinking lately prevented him from attending. Fuentes gave him the call behind the scenes in DMs to not attend, and Ralph considered this to be the final straw upon the camel's back. Alas, our fat felon and short Mexican leader of the white race are no longer pals. It's sad to see. This story is developing. I have no further details. Well, besides from the fact that now that the bridge is burnt, Ralph will be migrating the Rumble. He got banned from Cozy, so no more Cozy TV channel for Ralph. And he's doxing all his Paypigs that either donated to him or collabed with him. Just all the groypers. If he has your number or your info, it's getting posted on his Telegram. Sad to see. But that was what I was focused on today. But this isn't a stream for that. I wanted to talk about it anyway, because most people that know of me know me knowing of stuff. Anyway, how do I even introduce this? This is I don't usually take notes when I do streams. This is the first time I've taken extensive notes. I was out and about, and I had some time while we were taking turns on the road, and when my turn driving had finished, I decided to finally get the stream together. So I typed up some notes. I typed up some notes, and here we are. We are going to be proofreading and reviewing GameTrekker's Pikmin fanfiction. Whoa! Oh my god! You never saw this coming. Let's go ahead and switch, and I'll give you the lowdown. Whoa! Hello. We have some minor adjustments to the YouTube scene here. So, if I even begin. This all started when I was doing a Twitch situation, and I think I was just playing the game, but UNFW1, big ups the unfun one, hopped into my chat to let me know that not only was Pop on, that's right, the Piece of Peace guy, he was on, and he also told me that he was reading GameTrekker's fanfiction, something I didn't even know existed. Now, some people were aware of this shit existing already, but I was not one of those people. So I went ahead and tuned in. I restreamed the restream, and I read one passage, parentheses, one passage, and I was quite upset with what I read. And then, just like that, like a light bulb turning on in my skull, in my noggin, I had an idea. And this idea has turned into this stream, which will be part of a series in which I go over one story. I'm gonna go over one story. The story that interests me the most, because this Pikmin story is much more serious than his other works. His other works seem to be a bit more lighthearted and comedic. And honestly, he only has one other story. It's a Kirby story. It's lighthearted and comedic, and it's silly. It's nonsense. It's 87 chapters of nonsense that got revised into even less content. And he didn't even finish the revised edition. So we're gonna focus on the actually dramatic, entertaining one. It's about 9 chapters, 50,000 words. I want to focus on maybe chapters every time we do this. I'm not doing the whole story today. We're gonna give the intro. We're gonna look at his profile, the people associated with him, and we're gonna look at chapter 1. We're gonna read it and proofread it as we go along. After that stream, I had requested the link from Peace, who was more than happy to give it to me. So once I had the link, it was off to the races for me. So GameTrekker, oh hey Rummy, dude, you're interrupting me. I'm trying to nervously go over my notes here. I don't usually take notes, you guys. The long and short of it, GameTrekker's the Paypig. There's a reason some people call him GameCucker. I don't recall if he first appeared during the Hades playthrough, but that seems to be the common theory. I'm sure you could go verify this for yourself if you check the YouTube chat logs. Most people seem to agree that he started showing up during Hades, but I would say his most popular appearance was during the Kirby and Forgotten Land playthrough, which he was hand-holding DSP pretty much throughout the entire playthrough. It was very strange. Now, this makes, now that we know about the fanfiction, we didn't know about it at the time, but now that we do, it puts a lot of things into perspective. A lot of shit makes more sense now that you realize that GameTrekker is a 35-year-old Kirby and Pikmin fan. Really explains why he was so devoted to the playthrough there. Dingus is fumbling like Nick during his speeches. No! Honestly, I like I said, Benjamin, I had the speech in my ear at 2%. I couldn't hear a word he was saying. Maybe it was the other loud noises, the cacophony around me, but for the life of me, I could not hear him. They were saying his audio sucked ass. It was like, I don't know, he was in a can or something. Muted? I'm not muted. But what if I was? Something is muted. The video I'm playing for filler before I show you the profile. But yeah, he showed up during Hades, showed up during Kirby. But modern people may know him more. The modern Tractor, as in the Tractor of today. They remember him as the Street Fighter 6 handholder. I say remember, but he's still playing Street Fighter 6. He was gone for a while. I think after Kirby, he disappeared. I would liken it to Serious 7, how Serious 7, a totally real person by the way, showed up during God of War Ragnarok and LARPed like a genuine organic fan, and then completely disappeared off the face of the planet once that playthrough finished. I think he resurfaced maybe once or twice afterward. Maybe Ryan was jumping between accounts or some shit. But that guy just sayonara'd after that one resurfacing. I see GameTrekker in kind of the same light, even though GameTrekker isn't Ryan. GameTrekker is not OIC. It's known who he is. I'm gonna try to, in regards to personal information, I'm gonna try to leave him alone. We're not gonna go for personal attacks. What I wanna do with this series is I wanna criticize the writing. I wanna put the focus on the content and not go for low-hanging fruit. My favorite part is when they invited them. Can I even say that on this platform? This is YouTube, I suppose. It's not Twitch. But weren't people restreaming me on Twitch? I don't even know. Did they go offline? Can only hope so. Big up Snock. Yeah, expand Dingus on at 2 in the morning. I'm a bit nervous, you guys. That's why I didn't want to boot up earlier. Couldn't hear the speech. Also, I had to bend down to speak to the mic since Nick is so short. Did he? I had he was on the small screen for me, so I didn't. If he did that, I didn't see it. That's fucked up, man. Okay, another thing that GameTrekker does is, besides the Street Fighter 6 handholding, he paypigs every single DSP reacts. I know there was a DSP reacts today. I'm sure he dropped his 29.99 cent tip. I don't really know why he does the paypigs during the reacts. At least for Street Fighter 6 and some of the other games I'm about to bring up, you get the interaction of him talking to DSP about the game, but it's weird because GameTrekker's like two different people. He's got a duality of man situation going on in regards to him as a trekker of games. I'm gonna explain this in a moment, but I don't understand why he paypigs during DSP reacts. He's not React Trekker, he's GameTrekker. Theory regarding the duality of man stuff is that GameTrekker is a wiki reader. He's basically a Derek, but probably worse because he's kind of disingenuous about it. At least with Derek, you know he's just copy pasting shit from a wiki, because Derek doesn't do fucking anything besides jack off the day. GameTrekker is kind of, he's like fake, because there will be times in which you can tell that GameTrekker has played a game, and times in which he can tell that he's reading something off a website. Peace brought this up on an earlier stream, I believe this week, and it really made sense to me when he was talking about it, because he had some specific examples. So we know that GameTrekker has showed up for games like Kirby and Hades, as well as Street Fighter 6 and Halo. Now there's a divide in the ways that he talks about these games to DSP and his contributions that kind of expose how much he knows about the game and how little he knows about the game. GameTrekker has two wolves inside him, just the way he likes it. Now wait a minute. Now, there's such a thing as having that dog in you. I've never heard having that wolf in you. Anyway. So, for example, games that GameTrekker has played and he knows. I would say this is, of course, Kirby and Pikmin. We definitely know that. And Hades. I feel like the advice he gave during Hades suggested that he actually played the game. As for games that he wikied and looked up information for, I would say this is where Halo and Street Fighter 6 falls into place. Peace's argument for this, which I agree with in hindsight, and I'm parroting here because I have no original ideas of my own, is that you can tell when he hasn't played the game by the way he talks about it, terms he uses. He uses official terms when more common speech would have you use vernacular. I don't really know how to explain this, but DSP tends to do this too. I remember on an earlier stream when he was playing Street Fighter this week, DSP said he needed to coach himself on using the official term for moves more often. And this is this would be like saying Guile's Sonic Boom and looking at that and calling it a fireball, which DSP has done in the past. So if GameTrekker was to look at Guile's Sonic Boom, he'd probably call that a Sonic Boom, even though most people who play the game at the level that DSP is at would probably just call that a fireball. But GameTrekker would use the official term. He tends to do this a lot. And I'm not 100% on this, but I'm pretty sure, I think someone said one of his tips was verbatim copied from the wiki. Not only that, he doesn't even own the game. He hasn't played in any of these lobby nights, and I think he outright said he doesn't own the game, so fuck everything that I just said. He allegedly doesn't even have the game at all. Now, how do I know that he's played Pikmin? Can't possibly be the fact that DSP did not play Pikmin 3 and has no plans of playing Pikmin 4. Could it be related to the fact that I have Pikmin music playing right now and will circulate throughout the entire stream? Could you allegedly find this answer by reading the title of the video or even the description? Maybe. Restream Dingcast? Dentcast? Yeah, let's go with that. Okay, well, no use hiding it any longer. Let's go ahead and show it off. Right click. This thing. Yeah. It's GameTrekker's Fanfiction profile! Yes! Yes! Welcome, Almighty_7. Happy birthday. At 3 AM my time, you know that we have the same time zone, 7. I'm very nervous, I'm very anxious, I'm filled with dread and anxiety. I'm reading notes off my phone. I usually don't take notes for a stupid stream, but I am today. We're gonna go over GameTrekker's fanfiction.net profile, and proofread and review is Pikmin fanfiction. And this is gonna be a series going forward. You guys wanted this! But happy birthday, 7. I hope it's a good one. Is it erotic game tips? None of these stories are erotic. But, oh, hello, Mr. Bun. But yes, 7, yes, that's true. You may have heard already, but GameTrekker writes fan fiction. And, I dabble in writing from time to time. So when I heard Peace look at some fan fiction on an earlier stream once upon a time, first thing I thought to myself is, fuck it, why not just look at what he wrote, you know? I'm gonna refrain from personal attacks. I just want to consume the story as it was written by GameTrekker. So let's start with his profile. Hey, I'm GameTrekker, male, 29 as of February 2017. This would make him 35 years old as of today. I wrote some stories long ago. I liked them. I wanted to write more, but then I didn't enjoy writing anymore. Feel free to contact me if you want to know more. I actually advise... I'm going to add this to the description. I think I already did. I advise against contacting GameTrekker. Hello, Almighty Gookie. Is it Gookie or Gauki? What's up, man? I advise against contacting GameTrekker. You can, if you're so inclined, with the private messaging feature that this dumbass site allows you to do. I say this because, 1, if you privately message GameTrekker, by default, a setting on the site. He'll be notified via email if you choose to private message him. So he'll know. Same if you were to leave an anonymous review on any of his stories. I would like him to not take down any of the shit that he has here. It's not much, which is good for me, because I'm trying not to die here. But anytime you get a private message or a review, you're emailed on it, unless you turn it off. But GameTrekker's too stupid to do that, so I'm just gonna err on the side of caution. Please don't harass GameTrekker. Leave him be. Let him write his stupid nonsense and cry about how he doesn't have the spark of joy in him to write anymore. Leave him be. But joined 2003. Last time he updated profile was April 26, 2017. About 2 months after he made this update. I don't know what he changed. Big ups. We love to see it. Just like we love to see the stories he's written here. 2 stories on Kirby. Technically 1. They're basically the same shitty story. And we have the one that I care about, the Pikmin fanfiction here. But we're gonna go ahead and go through all of them. And if you're wondering what this site is, if you're a sane person who's not fucking mentally ill, as a DSP would say, this is fanfiction.net. If you think this site looks repulsive, don't worry, I agree with you. This is a website trapped in the year 2002, where actual middle schoolers, literal kids, write Smash Brothers fanfiction. And Filthy Fujoshi published stories about Genshin boys, swap and spittle. And somehow the site remains slightly more heterosexual than its modern-day counterpart, AO3, a cesspool of inequity. Somehow, that site somehow manages to have far worse UI than what you're looking at here. And they beg every other week just to turn the lights on. It's like fucking Wikipedia over there. Okay, I'm getting losing track of myself here. Anyway, nobody publishes jack shit to this site anymore. Case in point being that even GameTrekker stopped posting. Turns out being a dented Paypig has proven to be a far better use of his time. So GameTrekker's 35. It's public info. I'm not doxing him, you guys. I'm not exposing information regarding GameTrekker beyond what is currently publicly known. I don't know if his face is out there or if anything else is out there, but I'm not going to be showing anything else. So if you're here for that, you're in the wrong place. He no longer has that dog in him to write. That's alright. I can relate. I get those unneeded flights of fancy from time to time. Let's look at each story individually. So we're gonna kind of go in order. I'm gonna go with the stories I don't give a shit about, and I'm gonna look at their stats, we're gonna look at the reviews for them, and then we're gonna start on the actual one. The first Kirby story here was written when he was 15. The Pikmin story was written when he was 16, and the second Kirby story was published when he was 20. He stopped writing in general, as we know, when he turned 19. This is the original version of my Kirby Epic, my own interpretation of the Kirby universe from years ago. The revised edition, written years later when I got much better at writing. We'll see about this. I'm gonna give him a fair shake. Will unfortunately never be completed, so I don't blame you if you want to look at this one. Well, let's see what we're gonna look at. Kirby, rated K+, so this is for kids, obviously. English, I should hope so. Adventure humor, so this is the humor story I was talking about. No drama. 87 chapters, 140,000 words, 240 reviews, 79 favorites, and 12 follows. He published this in 2003, finished it a year later, and it's done. Big ups. He wrote a fucking epic about Kirby. Now don't get too excited. There's not really much to that one. Let's see, which tab here is that? Let's check his reviews first. You guys want to see his reviews? There we go. Who hit this guy up? Oh my god, these guys love this story! Look! People were reviewing every single chapter. Why don't you do a Kirby X Choo Choo story? Who the fuck is Choo Choo? Choo Choo? What kind of Kirby character is that? In the newer version, how about you include more Kirby X Choo Choo and maybe even have them kiss a few times? What the frick did you put in chapter 80? My mom has adult content restricted on my iPad, and the site is freaking restricted. What? You can do that on an iPad on this site? Huh? I swear I didn't look these ahead of time. I'm just as washed as you guys are. I love this story. It's awesome. I can't believe that someone called it too long, though. After all, it's only 140,000 words. What? Normally, my opponents say, "Holy shit," when I pull out my missile launcher. I started laughing extremely hard. Can I quote this on my profile? Oh, well, at least he's asking for permission. Anyway, this story is amazing. I hope the final draft is this good. I shall favorite. Well, sadly, the final draft never made it to completion. Nice. Though I'd like more ribbon Kirby. But Choo Choo is okay. Who is Choo Choo? Is that like an enemy? That's not a main character. And DDD just possessed throughout the story. He didn't do anything. Maybe he hates DDD. Maybe DDD... I don't know, maybe DDD gets in the way of his stupid-ass ship that exists primarily within the bowels of his head. This was the first fanfiction I have read in its entirety, and I'm glad I did. Would have never expected such a simple story to become something so epic. Keep up the good work. I can't wait to see the revised edition. How... This is chapter 87. How long was he teasing this? Okay, this person up here was just reading along. Oh my god, Krako64. Krako, no! I read this story about 3 to 4 years ago when I was still in high school. I suppose I was just bored one day and came across this website. And since I'm a really big Kirby fan, I decided to check out that section first. I came across the story, and at first I wasn't impressed at all. The simplistic and overly short writings of the first chapter weren't anything special, which is probably one of the big reasons that you're revising it. But I wanted to see how the story came about. So I kept up with the story, and it slowly turned into what I consider one of the standards for Kirby fanfiction, and thus far the only story that the Pink Puffs... Holy shit! Krako64 thought this was a masterpiece. Yeah, what are all the... He wrote this in 2007. This is like around when Super Mario Galaxy dropped. What is this kid doing now? Was he even a kid when he made this? Okay, still in high school. Okay, that guy is definitely a weird Disney adult. Hey, what's up, Nurgle? I'm going over GameTrekker's Kirby and... Well, not so much the Kirby stuff, more the Pikmin shit. We're gonna proofread and review the first chapter in a moment, but I want to go over his other stuff. We're going over his profile, his other stories that aren't as amusing to me, and specifically the reviews and what people had to say about him. This guy here says that GameTrekker's fanfiction is one of the standards for Kirby fanfiction, and is, as of 2007, was pretty much the only story that the Pink Puffs got. A nice meld of humor and seriousness. Should have done this several years ago, but GameTrekker, I applaud you for making such an amazing fanfiction. I only hope that I may be as good as you one day. This fanfic is kickin' awesome. Very exciting. I'm looking forward to the Rise edition. One suggestion. It would be cool if you could let Knuckle Joel escape from Titan Tower at the end. See, okay, these are reviews that I don't care about. Reviews with comments related to the story that I have no context for. Not interested in. I love it, and I will always love it. But just as good the third time around as it was the first few times. Oh my god, I love how Meta Knight's the only one taking the whole situation seriously, and everyone else's attention is completely fixated on how awesome Kirby is. X3. The majority... This site must have been way more popular back in the day. The brunt of these reviews come from 2005 and earlier. The world was such a smaller, far more simpler place once upon a time. Alright, well, it seems everyone loved this story. Duck Go Quack couldn't, he couldn't give it up. Truthfully, the best Kirby story I've ever read. This story is awesome. I've gotta say, the best marksman chapters, no, the greatest marksman chapters were my favorites. It's the left half of the lower part of Marx's jaw, answered Q shakily. XD, XD, XD. That had me roaring with laughter for an hour. Great job, Game Trekker. All right, I'm a little curious, aren't you? Let's see what this story is actually about. The first chapter, why don't we? You may have remembered that earlier review that told them how short the initial chapters were. The Dreamland Story by Game Trekker, Chapter 1, Days. The sun rose above the distant mountains, and the new day began in Dreamland. For Popopo, it was like any other day. He slept until the last bits of his great dream faded away. He got up. He had a delicious breakfast of pancakes, whipped cream, strawberries, apples, cream puffs, a little cereal, and some toast. Some cinnamon sugar on top. Popopo did not brush his teeth because Dreamlanders do not have teeth. Very important detail to know. As a thing with Game Trekker going forward, unnecessary detail where it doesn't need to be. Dingus, he was only a high schooler when he wrote this. Who cares? Popopo then went outside to play various games with his friends Tutu, Vavava, and Ririri. Hide and seek, that should not be capitalized, the seek there, was their favorite game because they could puff up and fly up to the roof. Used to hide. After play, each Dreamlander would take their afternoon nap. They would always have good dreams. That is how Dreamland got its name. The residents would always have good dreams. After the Dreamlanders had their nap, they would play some more. The sun was setting. Popopo went inside and had a supper that was probably larger than the breakfast described earlier. What? Okay, no, we don't need this bullshit. Why is he? Dude, this is like one passage ago. So this is another thing that he tends to do. The utter contempt and disrespect for the reader. Then Popopo then went to sleep. Life was good. This is just how it was. Ah, yes, how it was. Because one day it wasn't! Holy shit. Just gonna get crazier from here, guys. So people were telling him, these chapters are so short, is ridiculous. We want longer chapters, and allegedly he did end up giving them longer chapters. Chapter 2, Dictatorship. So already we're going into the fray here. Hey girl, welcome to a 3 AM boot up. We're doing a read and review here, but first I'm reviewing the Kirby stuff. I saw Sev read a few of these chapters on the Twitch, so I don't want to overlap too much, given that she's already covered some of this stuff. But let's read up to chapter 2, and then we'll skip to the end and see what the story ultimately ended up becoming. King Dedede ruled over Dreamland, and the Dreamlanders didn't care. Why should they? King Dedede was a self-proclaimed king, and performed no administrative role whatsoever. Oh sure, King Dedede had tons of minions and a huge castle on a mountain that was named, parentheses, by him, after him. But the Dreamlanders just went on living their happy lives without giving him a thought. It didn't even matter that he wasn't a Dreamlander. For those of you who are wondering, King Dedede is a large penguin. Thank you. I totally needed to know that. That couldn't be saved for an author's note or anything. One day, King Dedede's servants heard him growling and wailing, and they stood wondering whether they should check on him or not. When they finally decided to, they burst into the king's room to find him looking perfectly fine. When they asked him what was wrong, he was so startled that he said something profane that meant, to put it mildly, to get it out of his room. So, given that this was published around 2003, it's probably when the anime was airing, and they dubbed it around that time. So I'm just assuming if King Dedede doesn't have any dialogue yet, I'm just gonna assume that his characterization is based on the show. It's a good show. Too bad they censored it. The same day, King Dedede told his servants to organize a mass gathering of all the Dreamlanders, but I thought he didn't rule over them. The word was spread quickly, and in no time, a huge hall was filled with millions of Dreamlanders. Pretty unrealistic. The multicolored mass, as seen from above, was enough to make anybody gape, for each Dreamlander is a different color. What? I don't know what he was going for there. You could probably rewrite that and just talk about how the mass resembled a rainbow or something. King Dedede approached the stand and held up a microphone to speak. Dreamlanders, he said, thank you for coming to my castle, baby. You will never leave it again, that is all. With a snap, All the doors, windows, and passages to the outside world sealed off. Big ups, big ups, Hitler DDD. I guess that's what the title was referencing. Alright, well, people say the earlier chapters was short. Let's go ahead and skip to the ending. Greatest Marksman. Oh, people were referencing these chapters specifically. Chapters definitely got longer. For Anne reading this. Yeah, I do too. It's a while ago, wasn't it? Oh, what is this? No, you don't transition scenes like this. I don't know if the formatting was different when you were publishing stories back then, but there are better ways to do this now. Look at this, just pure nonsense. You could tell this started off as like a jokey kind of comedic fic, and then he got popularity. 240 reviews. He got popularity from other idiots his age, and they probably filled his ego and got him to a point where he thought, hey, let's try to make this like an epic. That's how he describes it after the fact. Oh my god, it's like it's epic and shit. Right. About penultimate chapter. Note to the reader, this story is rapidly nearing completion. It's possible that the chapter after this one will be the last. This is bad, muttered Gooey. Everyone else has attacked us, but here, Kirby stands still. Well, hit him with the Star Rod and cure him already. Star Rod should be capitalized here. It's an item. It's an object. It's a named object. It's like a fire flower in Mario. Capitalize that. See, I'm not sure that's such a good idea. Why not? Now, your mileage may vary on whether this is acceptable or not. I typically... all caps and dialogue is something I would do when I was in, like, fucking middle. You know? It's not something that I think I would be doing today. Hey, wait a minute. Did the lady die? Dude, the lady stopped responding. Fucking lost. She's frozen in time. Even she can't stand this garbage. Ah, we'll wake her up in a second. Oh my god, what is this poosh? 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 Is that supposed to... automatopoeia? There are ways of doing that, and that is not one of the ways in which I would do that. It just, it's pretty childish. A black smoke poured from Kirby's body, filling the room. Choo-choo! Cried Gooey. What have you done? Then, the smoke slowly disappeared. Choo-choo rushed over to Kirby, who had fallen over, but Kirby's eyes were closed. Kirby, she said, suddenly fearful. Wake up! She shook him violently. Wake up, Kirby! Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up! I'm not sure I would do that. Like, I get that we're doing, like, for emphasis, this shit with the wake up. I get it's for emphasis, but I wouldn't do that. Alright, let's get this lady back. I don't know what was going on with my camera here, guys. The camera actually wasn't on the whole time. I figure we'll just skip to the next chapter. People said this was this had such a great ending, everyone. Alright, she'll be without her glasses. That's fine. Alright, we're back. Oh, wait. Okay, now we're back. Check out the final chapter. Note to the reader. I did it! I finished! Now I have to go back and revise the whole thing. What? You didn't revise it as you went along? Now, I know this is preference, but when I write a thing, I tend to revise as I go along, and then maybe I'll give it a little once over after I'm done with it. But I would never write a thing then publish it, especially if it's like in a chapter by chapter thing. Like you gotta wait weeks between the next chapter to get the next fucking part of the story. I would never wait until the entire story is done, upload it. Cause how long was this? This was a span of a year and some change. I would never wait a year and some change and then say, okay, now I'm gonna go back and revise the rest of the story for you guys. It just seems, again, disrespectful. And I know motherfucker was in high school, but come on. I'm trying to be honest, man. They teach you that in class? Yeah, I'm like his fucking English teacher over here. But I'm no English major myself. This is just for fun, guys. Alright, but the important thing is that the story is now complete. Also, my profile has been updated. If you haven't checked it recently, do so! And, finally, Fanfiction has completely stopped allowing writers to show breaks in their stories, so I put little dashes where breaks should be. Okay, so we have a justification for the transitions that he was doing scenes. I think they fixed this since then. If you do a story now, because I've seen newer shit where there's like proper breaks to indicate a scene transition. This break problem will be naturally fixed in the revised version. No, it will not, because he didn't fucking finish it. Which will not be uploaded until I'm finished with it, see ya? Why did he lie there? He outright lied there and then didn't... What? Why did he just lie? That doesn't... What? No! You didn't finish it! And not only did you not finish it, you actually uploaded it before you were done with it. And you never were done... What? Huh. We're not comment further. Hey, GameTrekker's writing. I have some general notes on my thoughts on GameTrekker's writing style. At least, again, when he was in fucking high school. And I have a couple here. Let's just proceed to the next, well, you know what? Let's check out the ending first. How did this end? So at this point, he was going back from doing multiple dashes in a row to just doing one dash to indicate a scene transition. Still, doing automatopoeia shit. Wait. Rayman? Murphy? Hold up. What the fuck? There's no crossover tag. Games Kirby. I'm in the right section. I did not jump anywhere. Why the fuck is Rayman here? Rayman, old buddy? Hey there, Rayman, old buddy, said Murphy. He had a slightly high and very annoying voice. Is that supposed to be some kind of fucking sneak diss, you piece of shit? It sounded like a combination of a hiss, a snicker, and the bark. Great to see ya. Look, we got trouble back in the Lumen Shot system? Andre has returned from Game Explain. And with you away, he's infected every single yellow lum with this black disease. Our whole planet is in chaos. If you don't stop this before Andre finds his way to the heart of the world, we'll be all doomed! What is this? Is this like a joke? Is this a joke? Is this the final chapter of the... Is this like an aside? Again, what year was this? 2003. It's what the final chapter, so it would have been 2004. Did he start playing Rayman 3? Did he start playing Rayman 3 and decide to just drop a random Rayman 3 reference? Is he not anywhere? Rayman. He's literally here for a throwaway gag. Then let's go! Time for me, Rayman, to save the day again! Rayman sprinted away, with Murphy right behind. Okay. Silence. Yeah, this is supposed to be like an... I'm visualizing this in my head. It's like an... It's a bit. I could see this as an anime bit. How do his body parts float in the air like that? Said Gooey, thinking out loud. What connects them? How does he eat? Yeah, how does he eat his pancakes? It's intriguing. I wish I could perform some tests on him, but he seems to be the hero of some other solar system, which needs him badly at the moment. Oh well. Thank you. Thank you for that analysis. Thank you for that analysis, Gooey. I assume that you are not in need of my presence anymore at this time, Gooey, said Koo. So I shall be taking my leave. Very well, Koo, replied Gooey. Koo flew back in the direction of the party. Oh, congratulate Lottie fucking die. I got rickrolled. I got Ray-rolled by a Rayman reference that didn't even need to be here on the final chapter, where we're supposed to be like... It's like the climax. We're supposed to be, you know, Hey, epilogue. Tak had gotten off the UFO before it departed, disgusted that it had not attacked. His helicopter had picked Rob! Wait! Rob the robot? This was before Smash Brawl, and this was before Mario Kart DS. GameTrekker is truly an innovator. He put Rob, the Nintendo robotic buddy thing, he put that in his stupid-ass Kirby fanfiction before he was ever in Smash Brawl or Mario Kart DS. And then taking him to the Green Star, where they found the remaining members of the Meta Clan. All of the Meta Clan had made it to the Green Star. They were highly distraught, to say the least, that their leader had committed suicide. This story starts out with his Kirby XP eating pancakes. Their plan was to take the reserve spaceship that they had always kept on the Green Star on a voyage across the Milky Way. Their new mission was to find and murder the person who betrayed their outward plans to GUI. This same person, they were convinced, was the one who gave GUI the ability to administer special powers on a Dreamlander. But, as this person hailed from the Solaris system, obscure solar system at the end of one of the Milky Way's most distant spiral arms, it would take a few years. By the odd net in calendar to get to him? Look, I haven't played every Kirby game, but something tells me this isn't accurate to Kirby lore. It's actually pretty deep to get into it. Tak watched the ship depart. He had considered hitching a ride, but had not decided on the matter fast enough, so it was decided for him. The Meta Clan never knew he was there! Rob helping him find anything interesting. Yeah, it's kind of struggling looking for anything interesting, I gotta say. Tak searched a Meta Clan hideout. Eventually, he located a teleporter. Using a big glove from inside his magic sack, he punched in the code and stepped into a teleporter with Rob. Forgot to capitalize all letters of Rob's name there. A cylinder closed around him. There was a whirring noise and a cylinder lifted. Revealing? Gold! Exclaimed Rob. You are by far the luckiest person I have ever met, oh savior! Tak's eyes had gone wide. He had found Meta Knight's secret stash in the victory room of Titan Tower! And what a stash it was! I did it! Squealed Tak with glee. I'm finally rich! We have succeeded in our first mission. Rejoiced Rob, moving forward to stand on a hill of gold. Hooray! What do you want to do next? Tak smiled. He really liked Rob. The robot was so enthusiastic, even though its mind obviously had no real comprehension as to the enormity of the accomplishment that it had helped Tak achieve. To Rob, this was just a victory in and of itself. This was simply business as usual. I am so fucking lost. But I guess that's fair when I skip 86 chapters ahead and get to a fucking UFO spaceship situation with Kirby. The story starts with some guy named Poyoyoyo, who I assume is his OC. Maybe he swaps out the OC with Kirby, the guy, but then didn't go back and revise the earlier chapters. And then you have Choo Choo, who I think someone said in the chat is an enemy from the earlier Kirby game, so he's like... It's like the hero and the enemy team up to face off against the greater evil, who seems to be Nightmare. I think that guy's from Kirby's Adventure. And you got a couple of OCs. You have Rayman and Murphy popping in to advertise their then newest game. You have GUI, who has way too much of a fucking presence, given up to this point he was just in one fucking game. And then you got Meta Knight being Meta Knight. And I don't know what the fuck happened to DDD. DDD's never the main antagonist, I suppose. And then you have Rob and Tak. And again, I have to applaud GameTrekker for being an innovator here. This predates Rob's reappearance in the public zeitgeist. About 4 years before Smash Brawl, and about a year before Mario Kart DS. You'd have to be a fucking nerd at the time that this was published to know who the fuck Rob was. Or a boomer. Well, congratulations. Now, I know you're thinking, oh my god, Dingus, that was such a beautiful tale. I was so revitalized and rejuvenated by the words printed upon this text screen page. Now, sadly, I have to let you down. GameTrekker was not satisfied with this story. He didn't like it. He went back to it about 3 years later, looked over it, and decided, I wrote this when I was like 15, and it wasn't very good. I'm gonna go back now, and I'm gonna rewrite the story from the top on down, baby. and I'm gonna revise all the mistakes, and I'm not gonna upload it until it's finished, so you guys can enjoy it in its entirety, and it's gonna be my magnum opus. And then that didn't happen. So here we go, the revised edition. Let's look at the stats. Retain the same rating, so even though GameChecker was a little bit older, he decided to keep the same tone. Adventure, so you'll notice that it lost the humor tag, you know, as GameTrekker grows older. He got edgier, as being edgy was popular around the time. It's still in English, thank God. And we have 24 chapters, 45,000 words, a far cry from the 140,000 we saw earlier. 40 favorites, follows 26, definite cry from the 2 we saw early. I was like, I don't know. People said the first revision was GameTrekker's magnum opus. They said this story, they were telling him shit like, this story helped me through high school, you guys. You're the best. You set the standards. You saw that review earlier. That last story, at least one person claimed that story set the standard for Kirby fanfiction going forward. Up to that point, no other Kirby fanfiction topped that one. And then you have the revision. He wrote this for almost a decade. 2008, last update 2017, about when he last updated his profile. So GameTrekker was devoted to this. He was devoted to this for almost a decade. Now, status complete, but if we read the description, we will all be saddened to discover it's not actually complete. This is the revised edition of my famous Kirby epic. Nothing in the games or anime will be left unreferenced in this comprehensive original take on the entire Kirby universe. Years later update! Well, nothing was going to be left unreferenced. As it stands, I'm sorry you guys. The story probably won't be finished. So I've marked it complete, you fucking liar asshole, you. See chapter 17. Oh man. I wonder I wonder if there was drama with this story and what was the drama. But let's go ahead and let's read chapter 1. Like how we turned 3 paragraphs into a whole chapter. We're really expanding on the details. The corn harvest will grow well from this cozy civil war. Yeah, I covered a little bit at the beginning. Big ups to Ralph getting banned from Cozy. If you're listening to me on another platform, Ralph has been banned from Cozy. He plans on moving to Rumble. And he's no longer friends with Nick Fuentes guy. And he's doxing all of his supporters and friends in that strange Creeper circle. So this is a developing story. But we're gonna see a lot of tea spilled in the coming days. Help me through high school and a standard. These guys are either dead or still in the basement. Now we do have to preface, Benjamin. These were literal high schoolers at the time in a simpler, far more innocent world. This is not the sad world of the now that we currently exist in. Go drinking out with the bro and you're reading fanfiction without me. Hey, what's up, Luna? Big ups having you here, helping me out on this disturbing 3 AM situation. I didn't think I'd get so sidetracked by the Kirby stuff, but here we are. The suns rose above the distant mountains. Another day had begun in Dream Space Land. So this is one of those great revisions that GameTrekker was talking about. It took about, I don't know, 3 or 4 years, but he finally realized how to properly parse Dream Space Land. For Popopo, it was like any other day. He kept his eyes closed at first, savoring the last moments of his wonder. When he was ready, he got up and made breakfast. Popopopo was of the Dream Space Lander race, which was named after its only known residence, the country of Dreamland, on the planet Popstar. The body of a Dreamlander has a very simple design, so a sketch of one is easy to make. So, Sav went over this during her last Twitch stream. This is directly taken off the scene you get when you boot up Kirby's Adventure, where you just do how to draw Kirby. I didn't know this, but allegedly that's that whole startup scene is just disguise the game loading. I never knew NES games had to load. This Kirby's Adventure is bigger than, say, Mario Bros. Or Donkey. First you draw a circle, then you add smaller semicircles for the arms. After that, Add medium-sized semicircles for the feet. Lastly, all you need are 2 vertical ovals for the eyes and a dot for the mouth. As for coloring, each Dreamlander's body and feet are different colors. Popo's distinguishing color was pink, while his feet were magenta. So is this supposed to be like proto Kirby? Because by the end of the story, it turns into Kirby. I think this is kind of lame because it's supposed to be a lazy reference to Kirby's original name and design. Like Popopo is Kirby's name. They were making the first game, and I guess he looked at a wiki. He looked at Kirby wiki and was like, "Oh my god, did you know? Did you know he used to be named this?" And it was like, "Oh my god, let me use that for my stupid ass fanfiction." He had a huge breakfast. It consisted mainly of Popstar's local foods, as they were so plentiful and easy to collect. The pile he was eating today was over 2 feet tall, even though Popopopopo himself was only 8 inches in height, average for a Dreamlander. I dislike where we gotta add unnecessary gratuitous detail. Sees here, it seems lazy, like you're unable to naturally slide this into the descriptions that you're already doing. So it's like, let me just add it to an addendum. It's equivalent to an author's note, which is the kind of shit you would do back in 2005. And this was 2008 GameTrekker, so what the fuck? We gotta have like higher standards here, man. 36 cars at Fuentes Rally 2, LMFAO. I was just there. Max 144 people. Ralph-A-Mania sold much more there. I'm over it. Oh no, it's over it. And yeah, he killed it. Dude, Ralph was having so much fun today. Casino was exploding. So many people were unironically on Team Ralph. People wanted Ralph to crash the rally, or even Ralph to hop on the show. Like, not bury the hatchet necessarily, but just shit on Nick and spill all the tea. But no, I'm getting distracted again. You're not gonna do this to me. We have to read this disgusting story. He gulped down a mountain, not bothering to chew with his non-existent teeth. He kind of has no bones at all, let alone... Can we not? Can we stop with this shit? No. No! GameTrekker, stop this! Bobo was feeling even hungrier than usual at the moment, so he fixed himself some pancakes. He could hold the pan by wrapping one of his flap-like arms around its handle. Once the pancakes were done, he piled syrup and berries on top of them. Then, stretching his pinprick mouth to the size of a dinner place? GameTrekker, this is the revised edition of the story. What? You're supposed to say plate here. He swallowed them all at once. There were so many ways to write this whole fucking passage. It's like you're doing a book report and they want you to do like 8 pages, so you set the font to like 32, and you really drag that shit out. It's like that scene in SpongeBob where he's got to write the report for Mrs. Puff, and he's writing like the duh, and the duh takes up like the whole page. So what the fuck, GameTrekker? Is your idea of quality? Not to me, idiot. After breakfast, Bobo went outside to play with his fellow Dreamlander friends. They were who was blue with pink feet, Vava, who was green with yellow feet, and Riri, who was orange. Their favorite game was, quote, hide and seek. So he kind of fixes this from the first revision where doing... In the last revision, he didn't have this in quotes, but I still... Like, we don't need to have this in quotes. Motherfuckers know what hide and seek is. You can just put it hide and seek, like, in normal. Due to the vastness of Vegetable Valley, which was the area of Dreamland where they lived, Bobo and his friends set up boundaries first, then the game began. Quote, hide and seek was their favorite, because their kind had the ability to inflate, or, quote, puff up at will and float through the air. They used this ability to fly up onto rooftops or inside. Once play was done, they each took their afternoon nap, a tradition among Dreamland. Sleep is entered more in Dreamland than anywhere else in the Milky Way galaxy, probably because the residents always have good dreams. This is how Dreamland got its name. Revitalized after afternoon nap. Fucked up here. Could have put revitalized after a afternoon nap or the afternoon nap. The 4 friends resumed their play. As the sun set, parted with his friends and returned to his dome-shaped house on a hill. He fixed himself dinner. which was at least as big as breakfast, and consisted mostly of vegetables. Satisfied and content. Lay down on his bed and went to sleep. You could lie down. He lied down. Hey, Fifona. Yeah, the middle school essay tech. Hey, come on! Was in high school by this stage. Life was sweet. Could play all day, eat when he was hungry, and sleep when he was tired. He had never wondered how his way was possible. Yet to an outsider, it would seem strange that Popoco's kind was able to drive while doing nothing productive. Oh man, this is funny given what GameTrekker wastes his time doing today. There were plenty of other races in Dreamland, so why didn't they all have this privilege? The truth of the matter was that Dreamlanders were generally ignored by the others. They were used as a method of keeping the incredibly rapidly growing vegetation of Dreamland at bay. So like, they were curbing the cane sugar frogs or something. But being neglected turned out to suit them just fine. What is this shit? Collapse, however, was unfortunately inevitable. All that had to occur was that the presentation of an outside force that was willing to exploit such an abundance of innocence. This is like word salad. This really is the middle school tech. I honestly think I prefer the innocence. Yeah, the innocence. Let's compare and contrast. Doesn't this seem much more succinct? Like, sure, it's got a couple more errors. It's shorter. I actually think this gets to the fucking point like quicker. Do we really need to know how they play hide and seek and they live in Vegetable Valley? Holy shit, Kirby's Adventure reference. Did we need the diatribe of him making the pancakes? Like, okay, this is the same chapter. Which one did you prefer? Like, honestly, I would say neither. But if you like had the gun to my head, I think I would pick the one that took less time to read. Like, we could proofread this in a day. And if all the chapters were this length, I could probably proofread all the chapters in this story, but I'm not. They got longer and longer and longer. Was trying to learn the meta, and the meta back then was just make everything drawn the fuck out. Let's talk about how they look. And look, bro, if you're looking for Kirby fanfiction, you gotta respect the reader. You gotta understand that the reader probably knows what Kirby looks like, bare minimum. You don't need to describe how Kirby looks, and if you choose to do that, don't then have him make pancakes and then describe how he was able to hold the handle of the pan to flip the pancakes in the pan. We don't need this. Just say he's hungry and he likes to eat a lot. You know, like you did like 4 years ago. And then they take their afternoon nap. So for this, I could excuse this because it introduces allegedly important lore. I'm sure this probably comes into effect later. The thing about this is, I don't think it's ever been explained why they're called Dreamlanders or why they live in Dreamland or why the planet is called Popstar in Kirby canon. But you could have told me what he tells us here. You could have told me that was canon. I'd believe it. Like, oh yeah, they're called Dreamlanders because they sleep more often than anyone else, and they always have good dreams. Okay, yeah, that's stupid and sweet and innocent enough that I could believe that was canon. So we can excuse that. But the breakfast scene and the hide and seek shit, unnecessary. It's literally blow. Like, I'm gonna be a DSP about it. We're gonna go full Tears of the Kingdom. This is bloat. Is unnecessary? Is unnecessary bloat? This bloviates and bloats up the game? I mean, the fanfic. I'm not processing anything with the drunk debuff. That's fine. I'm streaming this at 3 AM for a reason. And I got water too, which I haven't sipped. But yeah, I would say overall this shit's worse than the... So much for the revision, right? Let's see what people have to say about it. It's the first draft here. Oh, hey, Darkside Phil! Ah, very cool. Chapter 1, April 17th, 2022. Oh, dude, Phil. Yeah, you shouldn't have. Stop wording this shit and pay me more for my streams. I've got huge bills coming. Ah, big ups. At least this isn't something that I invoke. But please don't Don't send him anonymous reviews. Don't DM him on the site if you got an account, because he's gonna be notified about it. I don't want him privating anything. But thank you, Darkside Phil, for that positive style review, coming in about 5 years after the last one. Oh yeah, I think this is this may have been when Anne first read this story, or someone else. Let's read this. This is from the Mario Brothers, not the actual Mario Brothers. Clearly, I think I saw this guy on page 1, first draft. Yeah, here he is. So this is a fella who was reading the whole story. He was reviewing every chapter as he read it. So it looks like he found out about the revision, and he seems to be deflated. Very deflated that the story did not meet its conclusion. I would like to help you with the story. I will fix mistakes that are found in the completed chapters and then make a sort of rough draft for the chapters you have not written yet, based on the notes you have. You can private message me the missing parts that you put reminders in the brackets reminding you to add it. Dude, this is like what Arkham Edits does for DSP today. But now, back in the day, someone was trying to do it for GameTrekker. What's old is new again. It doesn't have to be perfect. I will take care of the mistakes and revise it a bit. Dude, he really wanted this story to finish. You can look over it and see if it's good enough to be put in the story. And if it is, you put it in the story. Also, we'll have to take off the completed status to start editing again. Is that how it worked back in the day? Let's get your enthusiasm for... What the fuck? Let's get your enthusiasm for writing back. I will help when I can, but I am not always going to be available. But I will try my best. In 3 weeks' time, I will be available a lot more than before. Hashtag Magnet School Life. Hashtag Cashman Middle School. Did he just dox himself? Hashtag Magnet Program nationally ranked #1. Hashtag behind on my work. Hashtag and this is not Twitter, you fucking 10-year-old. I hope you accept my help. Right on. Sadly, GameTrekker did not write on. Actually, this came a month after he put out his final profile update and stopped writing. Oh, that fucking sucks. Kid basically doxes himself in an attempt to, I don't know, get Kirby community clout by helping you finish a fanfiction you have no desire to finish. Fucked up. Understandable. It's better than just leaving us hanging. I'd have actually wondered if you died or something. I guess we had a depressing author's note for chapter 24. It's always the same, I feel. Someone says that they have much more time and they are working on it full time, but then they vanish completely. It's always sad to wait -space. That's all you can do. Wait and wait and wait. ... Even if it's from 2011. Maybe if you fucking donated to his Patreon, he had an incentive to finish. Hello, have you forgotten about this story? It's been 5 years! All caps! Kid was fucking fiending. This is, this one from the Mario Brothers is a year before his pitch where he vows to help him finish writing the story. Dude, he waited a year for this to continue. Kirby and the Forgotten Story, right? Wow, this story is just amazing. Your writing skills are fantastic, and the idea is so creative. Finally, a good fanfic of Kirby's past, space. Not another anime-based Meta Knight story. I'm sensing some Kirby community drama here from 2012. Please continue. I wish to read until the very end. Winky smile. Fucking magnet program, God, wasted so much work ethic during high school. Somehow bummed my way through college. Hey, don't worry. I fell for the magnet program scam too. Now look where I am. I'm reading Kirby fanfiction reviews at 3 in the morning. The stream wasn't supposed to go on this long! Oh wow. Now this really makes me want to read the original story. It may be a revision, but this easily ranks on my top 10 favorite stories so far, right? What can I say? I'm a bookworm. Well, I hope you'll continue writing this. I'd love to see more. And then, Oh shit, Buddha wrote him a book report. Chapter 11, as of January 16th, 2011, from Buddha. Don't you mean concussive and not percussive? That was some actual critique there. It's something I haven't seen in any of these reviews. Like, what the fuck? It's called a review, bitch. Give me some fucking critique. That said, this updated version of the fake is several times better than what I read of the original. It was actually a bit jarring, reading through the first chapters of both almost simultaneously, but it is good for comparison. So, this motherfucker did what I just did, but thought the revised version where we gotta focus on his breakfast and hide and seek was better than the original, where just 2 passages. He ate and then played a game and then fell asleep. And we answered a sentence about how shit's gonna get foreboding in a couple of minutes. Those jokes from beyond the fourth wall are certainly fun, and the explanations for certain things in this version make quite a bit more sense than they did in the original. I'm wondering whether the original powers, if they exist this time around, will be a bit less far-fetched. Although I suppose that's most likely going to be the case. I'm hoping it won't take too long for the reworked fake to be completed, or at least far enough in to be worth at least an hour of reading time. Reading time! Holy shit. This is, after all, a rewrite of the most absurdly lengthy Kirby fic I've ever seen. Oh, man. Man. But this must have been before Yoshizilla started writing shit. If you know, you know. This really is an amazing story, one of the best I've seen in the Kirby fandom. I should have read this sooner. Semicolon. It's certainly very original. I especially love Gooey's role as mentor, like Meta Knight was in the anime. You don't see stories of Gooey often, probably because he was only in one game for a long-ass time. Looking forward to the next chapter.
I've been waiting for this chapter, and it was well worth it. You are extremely talented in the area of writing. I even enjoyed your first draft of the story, which I read all the way through when I had a stomach flu several years ago. Wait a minute.
Now, look, guys. GameTrekker is helping motherfuckers. He's helping them when they're sick. This is more... He's done more for people in reality than DSP probably has. Maybe. Probably the best written Kirby story I've read. This is a very interesting misspelled story. I wonder what happens next. ... Ah, Sakurai, the Smash Brothers guy. Awesome. Wow, is all I can say. Your story is great. Then it's going to be epic now. Can we get some actual critique here? I love the style. It's simple and gets to the point without being childish or leaving patches. What the hell? No, the story absolutely does not. Hey, wait. Account deleted 404. We're gonna get into this guy. Kind of fitting for Kirby as a whole. Hopefully the plot and characterization will be as excellent as that in the first half. I am very much looking forward to seeing more. First ever review, Sarcastic Turkey, June 5th, 2008. Awesome. That's all I can say. I read your original draft of the story long ago. It was one of the inspirations that got me into fanfiction in the first place. Dude, GameTrekker got people into fanfiction with his masterpieces. Have you guys' fanfiction ever done that? This new draft looks even better. Great Kirby's Adventure reference at the beginning with the drawing bit. I can't wait to read more. Well, sadly, motherfucker, you're not gonna get to read more. Because the depression hit GameTrekker like a mother, and the story was never finished. But let's see. People were commenting for certain chapters with, and I want to read. Okay. It seems like the story stopped at chapter 16. And it doesn't tell you when the story was updated, when a particular chapter was uploaded. You only get to see when it was published and the latest update. You don't get to see when individual chapter updates are. Only the update for the latest chapter. But it seems like the story froze at chapter 16. Then you get an update on chapter 17, and this is a chapter that's referenced into this.
An update after so many years?
Ah, yes. Well, there's good news and bad news here. I'll say the bad news first. Unfortunately, I probably won't be making any further progress on this story ever. It's sad, but my motivation for writing, in general, dried up unexpectedly years ago. And it doesn't seem like it's ever going to come back, man. The good news is that I do have a little more material for my readers to see here, baby. As I did write a bit more than what I published years ago. Oh, we go in full Wingo mode. That being said, podcast, comma, space, the following chapters are not as thoroughly proofread as the previous. In addition, they have an assortment of missing details indicated by an underlined bracket. Wait, what? Dude, he gave him the rough drafts for the last couple of chapters? The depression really hit him. I'm uploading them as they are, as a long belated thank you to my readers of... well, thank you, returning readers. Have a bunch of fucking unfinished rough drafts. I hope someday I'll have more to share with you. Well, sadly, GameTrekker did not have much more to share after this. So, here we have the chapters after the reported quality drop. So now I can finally bring up my general ideas on his writing style. Back to the notes here. Okay. Common issues I have with his bullshit. He doesn't know how to align, so he doesn't align his titles. Stuff like chapter 17 here, you need to have that centered. He also happens to... Where is this? The first chapter has it. Okay, this. The Dreamland Story by GameTrekker. You don't need to put by GameTrekker. By GameTrekker is literally right here, idiot. You can center that. And I don't think... it's preference. I wouldn't put chapter 1 here. I would just put the title of the chapter on... It's just go back to... It goes back to not wanting to treat your audience like they're idiots. Come on. Have some tact. Now, you may... It's a bit hard to see. I know I got it blown up. But you may be seeing the prevalence of colons when it comes to dialogue here. So, I have a theory about GameTrekker's shit. I want to say, when he originally wrote this, Once Upon a Time, the stories were in a script format. And you're going to see what I mean when we finally get to the Pikmin story. I think the stories were written in script format, like a TV pilot. And I think as he grew older, especially as he started to revise the first story, he thought he wanted to maybe change it up and kind of write it, you know, like a fucking novel. So, tried to edit it hastily after the fact, but the editing is very lazy. You can see the colons here for the characters indicate when the characters were talking. So if, for example, Kirby was talking, it would have Kirby, colon, and then his dialogue. Now, if you write that like a normal person would, you'd say, Kirby's dialogue said Kirby. Or said the pink puffball or something, if you don't want to say his name. So it looks like he had some effort, but it was pretty half-hearted. You got like, it's really half-hearted, because you have the colon shit here, and then you have follow anyway, said GUI. But then you have, and in some instances he forgot to remove it altogether, like you have Captain Colon here, and then his dialogue. Dingus, he said this was a rough draft. Yeah, it's pretty rough, I gotta say. And don't even come at me with the rough draft defense, because we're about to see in the Pikmin story. This was pretty commonplace for him. This is the kind of shit you let languish in the cursed bowels of Lemmy's land. If you know, you know. Other shit. Characters talk that normally don't talk. Kirby doesn't say anything. He talks a lot in this story. We're gonna get into the Pikmin shit too. Olimar is not really talkative, so I don't know why the fuck he talks as much as he does in his stories. He does talk a lot in the new game, but come on. Fucking GameTrekker wouldn't have known that back then. A lot of cringe OC shit and lore too that contradicts official lore. Tends to be part and parcel for GameTrekker stories. And unnecessary detail, we've already gone over that. And he incorrectly capitalizes titles in regards to certain things. So earlier when he was talking about the Star Rod, he didn't capitalize that, but he'll capitalize like the combo cannon. Like, I don't even know what this is. Is this even a thing from Kirby? What about Sir? I don't think I would capitalize Sir here unless that's part of his name. And they're talking to Meta Knight, so Sir would be a title, so you would not... In this instance, you would not capitalize Sir. But that critique is a bit more prevalent when it comes to Pikmin.
I know what you guys are gonna say. Dingus, he wrote this when he was 16 in high school. Understood. But it's online, you guys. It's open to critique. Like I said, we're gonna review it like an English teacher would. Even though I'm not an English teacher. But what if I was? Now, you're unable to copy stories on fanfiction.net. This was rolled out in an update ages ago. The community fucking cried when this update rolled out. It was to protect against plagiarism. Motherfuckers, these fucking kids, these fucking dinguses in the Dingus army would copy-paste stories and re-upload them to their own accounts and act like they wrote it. So as a countermeasure, they turned off the ability for you to just copy-paste the whole story. But you're probably wondering, how am I going to proofread this in and out? Well, don't worry. I have this work right here. Oh, wait, you can't actually say that. Why did I pop that up thinking you could see it? Wait a minute. Ba-ba-ba! Yes! Through Red Eyes by GameTrekker. But first, we have a couple things to go. Now, we're gonna get into the Dio theory territory. The Dio theory territory. I call it I put this toward the end because I don't want anyone to take this as fact. It's just we're being curious, guys. Let's get back to the main page here. Okay, so we've gone over the stories, but you may be noticing something else here. You may something right here. Favorite authors 5. So as I've already mentioned, you can privately message people on the website. You can also follow them and favorite them. It was definitely a community back then. You could talk to motherfuckers, have conversations, you know, be friends with people. It's not like that today at all. Just due to the resurgence of other platforms. You don't go to fanfiction.net to be friends with people, but you did back in the day. So we're gonna talk about the people that GameTrekker was friends with. We're not gonna look too super deep into them. Or I just want to highlight the people that people that GameTrekker had in good company. So we got 5 people here. Account deleted 404, glorious. Ivana J Spider, this one's the one I'm most interested in. Rainbow Six Siege, Cianaris, and White Next, which is probably gonna be the slogan for Fuentes' next stupid movement. Hack. Alright, so we're going to start with these in the order of least interesting to most interesting. We have account deleted 404. We saw a review made by this person in one of the stories, so that's probably how they got to following each other. Maybe they had some stories up that GameTrekker read and enjoyed, that's why they favorited them. Otherwise, you wouldn't favorite an account deleted 404. Sounds like they just got rid of everything. You actually can't delete your account on the site. So it seems like they just packed it up and just left this account as like a account. You can't have the same name as someone else either. So this guy is squatting on account deleted 404. I thank God that I never got into any fandoms growing up. Maybe because my parents made me get a job young. Big ups Big Ben's parents. Blame Phil for taking away this masterpiece. Yeah, Phil was being way too toxic with that review that he obviously wrote. Alright, next person. We got Rainbow Six Siege. Author has written one story for Kirby. I wonder how these guys got into each other. Joined December 3rd, 2001. Still the same old Rainbow Six. 5557 times more a Kirby fan nowadays. So for the Star Wars and for my other fandoms, I write. Right on! Wrote one story, The Invincible Starman. Starman is a hero. Or is he? He's rather clumsy. But he means well. Oh, and DDD and Escargoon are having a fight over who's better. Heroes or villains? And one for the latter is in Dreamland somewhere. I'm completely lost. Escargoon, if you guys don't know, is the henchman from the anime. A lot of these stories were written around 2004. That show was airing. So this guy had like a cameo in one of the games. But for all intents and purposes, he's like an anime-only guy. This dude likes Hey Arnold, and Danny Phantom, and Pokemon, and Yu-Gi-Oh! And Teen Titans! And Digimon! Dude, his parents were based.
They got cable for him. He had a better upbringing than I did. Ack, ack, ack. What about White Necks? Joined 2004. Last updated profile 2017. So, this guy. This guy last updated their profile 2010. I feel like these guys got like embarrassment in hindsight for the shit that they used to do. But they just wiped their profile so that no one would be able to look up what they wrote. It's that old Kirby show. Yeah, it was pretty good. Why the fuck did they take it away? It's like most anime. It's scheduled for a certain amount of episodes. So this guy did not write any stories. So I'm assuming this was a person. Since they didn't write any stories, they probably favorited GameTrekker's stuff, and then maybe they private messaged him first. Maybe they got to talking. It's worth noting too that this site also has forums, so it's possible GameTrekker could have been in the curve. I don't know off the top of my head if he made any forum posts. That would require some separate digging. His profile only gives so much information. Favorite Resident Evil story. Another Resident Evil story. Both humorous. 154 chapters, 172,000 words, even longer than the Kirby epic, but with 509 reviews! Shit. Updated in 2008. I've had multiple embarrassing things on the internet around 13, 15. I fortunately purged everything. I think a lot of us have skeletons in our closets here and there. It's just a matter of I'm shoving them all under the carpet and hoping no one finds them.
Right.
It's this one. Each episode we take a look at the worst and overused gags in Resident Evil spoofs. Parody writers, please take note. New Chapter 4. The Captain and the Lieutenant hate Mary Sue's. Oh man. That's absolutely the kind of shit you write in 2004. Alright, this ain't GameTrekker. Sayonara's. Okay. This one and the Ivana guy are the Ivana lady are the one I want to highlight. Actually, no, this is the one I want to highlight, so let's go to Ivana first. God damn it. Alright. 2001, 3 stories for Kirby. Okay, some info, you guys. I'm assuming this is from when they updated the profile in 2011. I am 26 now, and I have a job doing graphic design! Congratulations. 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 But you already knew that. I have 12 pets that keep me busy the rest of the time. My current favorite series are One Piece and MS Paint Adventures. Dude, 2011. Weren't they on Fishman Island? Oh, man. You were a struggle fan back then. Big up Juzzy. Hello, hello. Juzzy51 is in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get some applause. You're missing the good stuff, Jesse. Local DSP Paypig and residential handholder. GameTrekker has some fanfiction. And you guys know, I just love fanfiction. And I love writing. I just had to take a peek. I look, see, look, listen at what they've done. And I'm doing that by reading motherfuckers that aren't GameTrekker. But they liked his stories. They got a drama fic, 122 words. The Miracle of Life. I'm not getting much younger with shit. By the way, 12 pets. Like, what the hell? 12 pets? What if he's got like an aquarium and each fish counts as a individual pet? What a scam. The story is very dark and full of darkness and blood, so the title is quite appropriate. We have stars. Something was calling to him. 3,000 words on this one. 27 reviews. 69. Dude, people love this one. Okay. It's time to get into the Theo theory territory. We have a Theo theory to cover, guys. Sayonara's. 3 stories for Rayman. A character referenced in the final chapter is gonna feed into what I'm about to talk about. Pikmin and miscellaneous books. Joined in 2004. Last updated the profile 2019. Now, as of 2019, this Sayonara's lady says they are a 30-year-old Native American lady whose stories are in desperate need of a little love. Now, if you do the math, you know GameTrekker is 35 today. This lady would be 34 today. Interesting. First Pikmin fanfic on the site to reach 100 reviews. Congratulations.
The following are notes for myself and others to use freely in their stories. If you like my ideas and want to use them, go right ahead. If you do take anything directly or partly from the ideas I have listed here, or in my story, I would love to see what you've done with them. I also apologize ahead of time if any of my colors or ideas are the same or similar to another writer's. To be honest, I rarely read other Pikmin fanfiction, except for Through Red Eyes. Just possibly the best Pikmin fanfiction ever written. Interesting. I really, really, really love GameTrekker's spiel. So you may have noticed already that this profile may as well be a fanfiction in and of itself. It's a giant wall of text dedicated to cataloging the lore of this Native American lady's Pikmin. She has sections for the official Pikmin, as well as her fan-made Pikmin. It's like a who's who of Pikmin here. Last updated 2010. She's got pink Pikmin, orange Pikmin, green Pikmin. By the way, green and pink Pikmin exist now, and let's see. Yeah, she actually got pink Pikmin correct. Pink Pikmin can fly. Now they don't look like birds, but they can fly. She got that correct. Orange Pikmin don't exist. Green Pikmin, their stems are longer than usual and they can fly / glide. The green Pikmin in the new one are more like goats. I guess they hover, but I wouldn't say that they fly. We have shitty browed scat Pikmin. Gross. They're small, can walk upright or on all fours. Light, 2 long stems on the head, like ears. Can we get like some drawings to go with this? Because it's like foreign. I am not visualizing anything for you, man. We got gray Pikmin. Black Pikmin! Let's go! We got black Pikmin up in here. Pikmin 4 isn't out yet. Yeah, that's why I'm doing this series. I'm jumping on this shit while the iron's hot. E? No, this is a she. It's a lady. 30-year-old Native American lady. My theory is that this lady may have been in contact with GameTrekker, because her title here seems to give away that she's kind of lonely. And as I've discussed earlier, the site has a private message function along with forums. So it seems like she fell in love with GameTrekker as a writer, and then maybe they got into talking. Now, this is all theory crafting from this point onward. I can't definitively say whether they were talking in DMs or whatnot, but it would be very easy for them to do so. So basically my thing here, you guys, is GameTrekker can save her. But he didn't, because it's 2019 and she still doesn't have a boy. Rip. Black Pikmin waddle around clumsily, often falling over or tripping on things because of the shape of their bodies. It's often difficult for them to stand on their own after falling. Well, what's next? Are you going to say they can't swim either? Sometimes they'll simply roll away. It's no wonder why this type of Pikmin is rarely ever seen. They're best used as a distraction to enemies rather than being used as fighters. They're also not good at jumping, running, or carrying things. Oh, okay. I thought my joke was going to become reality in a second. We have Rainbow Pikmin, big ups. Too bad it's not Pride Month anymore. Magenta Pikmin, Tan Pikmin, Teal Pikmin, Cyan Pikmin. These actually exist now. These are the Ice Pikmin. No mention of ice powers here though, so she got that shit wrong. Got articles on the official Pikmin too, because in case you don't want to go on Nintendo.com, if you would rather hear it from the not even the horse's mouth. If you want to hear it from someone just making shit up, read the articles on the real Pikmin. Got red Pikmin, yellow Pikmin, blue Pikmin, white Pikmin, purple Pikmin, and Pikmin naming habits. So I'm assuming this is for her OCs. Let's read one. Red Pikmin, they usually give each other rather common or dull names. So that's subjective though. How do you know the name is dull? After all, they are known for their strength and immediate fire rather than their smarts. Example, Rex, Todd, or Eddie. These are dull names?
I mean, I guess. It's kind of fucked up, lady. Got a whole essay for yellows. Blue Pikmin, they name each other after common words or short phrases. They are more peaceful and elegant, so they try to name each other after things that they consider pretty nice. Example, Dew, Drop. Why are there 2 capital letters? Petal and Rain Dancer. Why Pikmin don't name each other at all? Pink Pikmin, they don't seem to have any set rules for name. What is this shit, man? She didn't even finish this. She didn't even finish this. She just got she's probably not even alive anymore, man. Way too lost in the sauce. We haven't even started reading yet. Long story short, this GameTrekker should have saved this lady. It's too depressing for me, man. Those are his favorite authors. And possible romantic love interest? Question mark? It's been a minute, but we finally made it. Only an hour and 30 minutes into the stream. Through Red Eyes. Let's check out the reviews. Got the stats, of course. Fiction, K+. English, Adventure, Chapters 9. 53,000 words. 155 reviews. 134 favorites and 32 follows. Updated, June 13, 2007. Published, 2004. So, he would have been 16 around here. About, 19 when he dropped it. He considers it complete. Oh, he finished it. Ah, yes, you did miss the main event. No, you're just in time. I wasted an hour and 38 minutes actually going through the Kirby stories I claimed I didn't care about. Ack. But, let's read the first page of reviews and see what people have to say. 2020. I don't have the words. I thought this would be a shipping fanfic, but I was dead. It's pretty good, I have to say that. Agnet 2018 says, I remember reading this story a long time ago when I simply lurked this site. I'm so glad I found it again, because it truly is a wonderful story. 2017. White Pikmin. No. Z name. The story just made me sad. The friend is implied to be killed by the water wraith. Wraith? I've only ever seen that word written. Leave me alone. Olimar is implied to have blood on his face. The president is implied to have been scared by insisting they get all treasures during the water wraith chase, and the abrupt end just adds to this. I just find it so sad. About to see how sad it is in a second. Everything's sad to me in this stream. What? Seriously? That's how you ended it? That's horrible. A better ending, in my opinion, would have been him surviving till Olimar and the president leave, and then him/her helping to keep the Pikmin alive in their absence. That's wrong there, idiot. If just spent the past 3-ish hours reading this series, I got really into it. I'm depressed now. This is an amazing read. I'm already so in love with it. I will be reading more soon. Got a haiku here from Louis of the Dream Den. Here I sit atop this beast, this fanfic, evil feats. They call this place the Dream Den. I disagree. It's their loss, as the Titan is hungry. I walk away ashamed, but now stand proud. R is in control. I'm the leader of this crowd. Control's such a beast. Gets so much treasure. The money I'll get is too much to measure. That sounded a bit like Phil there. Pikmin? Don't need them. Get in my way. Of course, if I must. They will do what I say! I feel like this guy... Is this like the same guy LARPing as different characters? That's all you can take. Good night. Yeah, thanks for sticking around, Big Ben. Hope to catch you on the rewind. Can you believe I still gotta stream tomorrow? Dude, it's Mario Monday! I'm the elder pick from the Yellow Onion ship. Okay, bye! See, Man at Legs, who's a boss in Pikmin 2. Few words. I hate Pikmin. I hate Olimar. I hate Louis. Old tonight, sleep mode. Olimar says, literally the Captain Olimar himself wrote the story back in 2015. I just wonder what Pikmin have been thinking. I do remember the day we did a Pikmin Captain. believe I am supposed to understand anybody's. I was disappointed. This guy cannot write. I was disappointed when I found out the Pikmin didn't speak. Or must have been the one I plucked out on day 38, because it's the one who stood out and always came true. It's the last to be thrown on Emperor Black's because I didn't want to lose such a courageous and action-packed Pikmin. And he didn't write a word there. This helped me understand my you for presenting this fan fiction. Signed, Olimar. Olimar, you need to get your fucking eyes checked, man. I have 50 purple Pikmin where I am now. P.S. At day 100, I have 50 white Pikmin. P.S.S. Louis has never called me Cap since day 60. Like, no fucking cap, am I right, fellas? Alright, here we go. Review that was probably actually written by a fucking adult. Story is really good. I've been completely immersed in every second of it, and the emotions shown are so genuine and give an amazing insight into the Pikmin's point of view. I really enjoyed reading through... Can we have used any other word here, man? I really enjoyed reading through Red Eyes. It told a very realistic opinion of a white Pikmin. And the ending was great too. I hope you continue making stories. I read this entire story, about 4 hours. Dude, could you imagine if I read through this whole shit in 4 hours? I fucking wish, man. This ain't gonna be, more like 400 hours for me. Some last night and some this morning, but I really enjoyed it a lot. Spectacular. So thanks! :3. Big ups, :3. Get your :3s out there. I don't know if you'll ever make another Pikmin one, but if you do, I'll be there. They did write another one. No, Louis, don't leave. Nice chapter. The sad thing is, you would get a lot of reviews just like this back in the day. Nowadays, you check out the site, barely anyone uploads it. And even if they do upload shit, nobody fucking comments. I don't know what happened to reality, but people are so fucking... They're scared to leave their feedback, you guys. No wonder DSP has to beg for feedback every day. Everyone's too scared to leave feedback. As a writer, you guys should understand that your comments help inspire people to continue writing. Why do you think this bitch lost motivation to write? Obviously because he's a loser! See, I somehow managed to get to the Pikmin section of fanfiction.net and looked for good stories. I'm reasonably sure this is the best one out there. The story is full of emotion, worry, fear, joy. It all shines through some writing. The fact that you give emotion to tiny little creatures is an amazing one. This is an amazing story. Be proud. I gotta say, I really like this story. Some things that I had never considered, like Louis intentionally staying on the president, sending Louis to die. I didn't really like how much of a jerk that the president was being. I don't know, I liked the president when I watched Shroom play through the game. He seemed like a nice fella. I can see why you did that, and it made the story interesting. I'll definitely be looking forward to any more stories you'll be doing. Impressive story. For one such as I, who has not played Pikmin 2. It provided a wealth of information. I now wish to go buy the game. Very good story. Glad I found it. Okay, here's the guy who actually has a critique worth talking about, and it's one that I shared earlier. I was a bit put off by the scripted format to begin with, but I forgot about it once I really got started. It was an amazing story in my opinion, portraying the Pikmin point of view well, expressing a well thought out and interesting relationship, because he misspelled that, between the various Hokatations. So, this is actually not make 'em up bullshit. Hokatate is the name of Hokatate? Again, it's like that word you only ever seen written. That's the name of Olimar, the planet, and Hokatation would be a species. I was disappointed that after his assumed death, the blue Pikmin was not mentioned at all. I would have thought that a little mention as the white Pikmin died would have been good. I think that a strong point of the story was how well the Hokatation's characters were. See the president. Did a motherfucker above say the president was out of character? Also, the use of caps in speech was off-putting on many occasions. Look, this! Even back in 2010, they were sharing my criticisms. In reference to the strategy used against the piloted Snagret, I tried sacrificing Weiss to kill it, not combining that with Yellow Troy. I'll test that when I get on my no-def run, :P. Congratulations and thanks for the story. 9.5 out of 10, holy shit! Interesting. Despite having a couple of critiques, wasn't enough to take a whole point away. Very dot dot dot, very dot 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 good. Although I have a question. Did the blue Pikmin die, or was he turned into... If he got tossed into a, what do they call it, candy pop bud, turned into the purple. I'm gonna attempt to defend the blue Pikmin's death here. I think when he killed off the blue Pikmin, which is funny because I haven't even read the fucking thing yet. I'm assuming if it's supposed to be written from a dramatic, realistic, oh here's how life is as a Pikmin. I think he didn't call any attention to the blue Pikmin's death because it's supposed to be like, well, the blue Pikmin, even though you're seeing his perspective, you're supposed to like relate to him. He's still at the end of the day just one of many Pikmin. So his abrupt death and story is intentional, and it's supposed to take you out of it a little bit and remind you that, you know, just because the story focuses on him, he's still just one of many blue Pikmin. He wasn't any more important or special than the rest of them. You like how we're doing some great introspective before I even read one sentence? Amazing. That's all I can say. Just amazing. Okay, maybe a bit more. Like that I was heartbroken when the white Pikmin died. Or how much of a different view I have in a final battle you're in. From poor Louis kidnapped his treasure, yet unable to fight back due to his sympathy with the bugs, to he has a point and good motives. He is fool at even attempt challenging the Pikmin army. But I must repeat, amazing. I await more. This all-inducing author who handles his words as Picasso and Leonardo handled their paints? Oh my god, we're building this up, man. And now I move on to the task of reading your original piece to Dreamlands. This is not bullshit. That shit wasn't original. Get out of here. This dude never seen Kirby before. If you do make another Pikmin story, have the main character turn into evil purple mushroom Pikmin and attack Olimar. If you don't know what the mushroom Pikmin are, look it up on Google because it would be awesome to know what a Pikmin feels like when it's a mushroom Pikmin. Oh, this dude gave him 4 reviews in a row. One review was just like, fuck yeah. The story was so awesome. I hope you make another one about a Pikmin. It was so disappointing when the story ended because I wanted to read on and on about this white... But what is about this white Pikmin that people love so much? I really was so upset when I read the end because the story was the best I've ever read. Best fanfic ever that I've read. Tell the story from Pikmin's point of view. Also, the story told by those 2 Pikmin Rainy Night was cool. LOL. Olimar doesn't know what rain is. I think he would. This is an awesome story, and I hope to read another story like this soon. Well, I can't delay this shit any longer. Let's see. The question remains, though, as I take the first sip of the stream. Near deadass 2 hours in. Do I read it and then proofread, or read and proofread as we go? Let me think on it. Taking a sip. 7, 6, 5, 4, 2, 1. Probably should have put that in the fridge before I started sipping on. Anyway, let's get the which format is easier to read. I'm thinking this one. Well, I'm gonna go sleep, but going to keep the stream up on TV. Hopefully, no loud sounds come through. Oh, don't worry, I don't have the energy to scream tonight, man. But thank you, Luna. I really appreciate it. I'll read it like this first, and we'll go ahead and proofread after my amazing WordPad copy. Oh yeah, I don't recall if I mentioned it earlier, but it was hate__army. The hate army? Oh, you know this guy's a loser. Oh, these fucking dinguses. These fucking dinguses in the hate army. Shout out for hate. He's the one who provided me with copy paste of this story. So as I mentioned earlier, no longer allowed to copy paste on this website. Through Red Eyes by GameTrekker's. Day 1. I am awake. Dark, damp earth. Soil feels wonderful. Small. I soak up the nutrients. Time passes. I hear the footsteps above ground, but they do not concern me. I am safe and secure, ever stronger with the nourishment and the leaf at the top of the part of my body that is protruding into the air turns soil soon. All that I am sucking up. I feel energized and my feast invigorates me. Now my bud opens into a flower. I abruptly feel a tug on my above ground stem. With a popping noise, I jump from the ground. My instincts kick in immediately. I am a white Pikmin. I've been put here on Earth to serve the leaders. Why is this capitalized? It is my purpose to do whatever they ask. I survey the environment. I am in a gravel-covered cave underground. My energy level could not be better. I instantly look for something to do. Spot 4 other Pikmin. Also, just been plucked. They are following the blue leader. I follow them as well. Hi, I say to them. Being able to communicate with my fellows is another part of my instincts. They answer back with highs and hello. The blue leader has met up with a red one. I listen intently. I do not understand the language they speak, but it fascinates me nonetheless. And the story was like sorta alright, and then he ruins it with this fucking cartoon 12-year-old script format. We have characters who normally don't talk begin to talk. Louis says, "The new whiteys are ready to go, Captain." Olimar says, "Good. Perhaps they will be able to explain why my treasure gauge is going off at a random spot." Red Leader gives a short whistle blast. He wants me, along with the other white Pikmin to follow him. We do so. Eventually, my red eyes sense something gravel surface. Instinctively, I begin to dig. I must excavate it for the roots. The other white Pikmin join in. As the gray surface slowly walks over, followed by a large band of red and yellow and purple Pikmin, all of which sport flowers at the tips of their stems. I notice that the colored Pikmin are all bigger than us uncolored white Pikmin. Purples, very much so. I count the Pikmin quickly. The group is made up of 38 reds, 32... Why do we have specific numbers, man? This makes the Pikmin population the visiting number 95, counting us whites. Oh boy, man, the autism display here. Though the colored Pikmin are bigger, the yellow and red ones equal us whites in strength. I actually don't think that's true. I think the red ones are stronger than the whites. The whites are notably weaker. Rewriting history here. While the purples both outmatch and outweigh us greatly. Due to our small frames, however, us white Pikmin can run faster than the others, especially the sluggish purple. Louis says, "Here are the rest of them, Captain." Olimar says, "Good work. They can join the white Pikmin in digging." He says, "Oh, so you found something?" Olimar says, "Yup." Dude, I hate the script format, bro. This needed to go yesterday. This needed to go for writing the first Kirby story. The item we are digging up pops out of the ground at last. I grab hold of it. So do my fellow whites. Many other Pikmin help us hoist it up. Everyone, except us whites, knows where to take the thing. They move and we move with them. Leaders follow and the rest of the Pikmin follow them. Olimar says, "It appears to be a colossal shell." Walk along the dark passageways for many minutes. Eventually, a floating triangular vessel of some sort comes into view. There is a bright spot on the ground below it. We take the thing to that spot and let go. The atom shrinks and is sucked up into the floating vessel. The leaders arrive and I fall back into the room behind them. I think this is supposed to be the pod that, I recall in Pikmin 2, the ship's computer tallies the worth of an item you collect, and this is the ship's computer. Initiating evaluation of recovered treasure. This artifact is worth 40 Pokos. I hereby dub this object the Olimar Knight Shell? Is that even a real item from the game? Olimar... Oh no. Oh no, 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 no. Can I zoom in? GameTrekker. piece of shit. What is this? What is this? Olimar smirks? Are you role-playing on Gaia or something? Why? 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 Use your brains. I know you have them. What is this shit? Are you on AIM or something? Instant messaging? You're not even doing it correctly. You're supposed to do it asterisks, not hyphens. Hate this shit already. I'll take away a point just for that. Olimar says, that's a nice name. The pod says, of course it is. I came up with it. Now get a move on. We must delve deeper for more treasures. Olimar says, I suppose you're right. My treasure cage just deactivated. That must mean there's no more treasures in this sub-level. Thank you for explaining how the game works. I don't know why I would be reading Pikmin fanfiction if I didn't know how to play the fucking game. Well then, find the exit. I don't want to be kept waiting. The red leader leads us for a ways. Then we arrive at a hole in the ground. Both leaders jump through, and all of us Pikmin naturally follow. Olimar smirks. Nothing personnel, kid. Exactly not. We fall down to another cavern, not unlike the one we just dropped from. The floating vessel has followed us. This area, however, seems much more active than the previous one. Black beetles with yellow spots are wandering around its halls, occasionally sparking and firing arcs of electricity between each other. Olimar says, node beetles. Okay, Louis, I'll take the yellow Pikmin and eliminate these menaces. Keep the rest of them here and out of harm. And, Louis responds, oh, come on, Captain. How come I always have to stay behind? I want to lead a little troop and take out some bugs. Olimar says, must I repeat myself? I am the skilled one here. Ah, yes. I escaped from this planet the first time. I am the one who studies the Pikmin. I know how to handle them. You would probably rather eat them. Louis says, yeah, well, they do look a lot like Paypig carrots. That's the canon food games. Actually, it's supposed to be the inspiration for why all calls the Pikmin in universe. We got the Captain Olimar here. He says, see, this is exactly my point. I've let you handle them before, but you always come back with half of them left, giving me some wild excuse like that time you said a beetle burrowed up out of the ground, farted at you, causing your Pikmin to be poisoned and die, and then scuttled back into the earth. What? Nice scatological humor. As totally in character for Olimar, he would totally say the word over. Explain what a fart is. Like fart should not be in Olimar's vocabulary, period. Louis hits us with, I'll tell you, that thing was real! Olimar. Whatever, Louis. Look after the reds, whites, and purples while I'm gone. Louis... No... GameTrekker. This shit again, man. But he did. Louis rumbles incoherently, sits down. So much fucking work to just write. Louis grumbled incoherently and sat down. The red leader seems to have won some sort of argument. How is the white Pikmin able to know what an argument is, but not able to discern the context of said argument? Probably leaves with all the yellow Pikmin. I long to go with him, though I know not where he is going. Whatever it is, it must be more exciting than waiting here with the blue leader, doing absolutely nothing. Not too far away, I see the red leader. He is throwing the yellow Pikmin at the beetles. I notice that the yellow Pikmin went through. Eventually, one of the yellow Pikmin lands on a beetle. Get it over. The rest then swarm the beetle and whack it with the flowers on their heads until it's dead. Damn. The red leader then repeats the process with each of the other beetles. Sometimes the beetles will fire electricity, but if the yellow Pikmin walk through it, but the yellow Pikmin walked through it like it wasn't there. Somehow, I get the feeling that I wouldn't be able to survive electrocution. Yeah, I don't know why, man, but I get that feeling too. The red leader and the yellow Pikmin eventually disappear from sight, undoubtedly exploring the rest of the cave and eliminating what's left of the beetles. Kinda inconsistent capitalization there, but we'll get to that on the proofread. Curious as to how long the red leader will be gone, I ask one of the nearby red pigmen. I have no idea, it answers. I was just plucked yesterday. It then points to another. Go ask that one. He's the eldest pigman here. So here's something I'll highlight right away. Something about the dialogue when it comes to the Pikmin. So when Louis and Olimar have their, I don't know, tit for tats, they got the script shit. But when the Pikmin are talking, it reads like an actual story. I have no idea, it answers. I was just plucked yesterday. And points to at another red Pikmin. Go ask that one. So how can they say this is the best Pikmin story ever? When within a passage, literally a passage, we're switching up how dialogue is conveyed. I wander over to the indicated Pikmin. Hello, sir, I say. How long does the red leader normally stay away like this? Getting jumpy, replies the red. Impatience will get you nowhere. If you manage to live as long as I have, you learn to enjoy these times of inactivity. This is my 22nd day. Are you going to answer my question? The red lies down on its side, propping up its head with one arm before answering. You never know how long he'll be gone. If he needs any other Pikmin or has a job for the blue leader, he'll be back. What might be a reason that he'd need more Pikmin? Well, if there is a task that he needs accomplished concerning walking through fire, he will fall for us red Pikmin. If a big bug gets in his way, he'll probably come for the purples. He'll only call for you whites if a gas-producing pipe needs to be shut down. Either that, or something dug up. Us reds are used all the time, because we hit bugs harder than any other Pikmin, except purples. How does he know this? Why does he know this? He's talking like he's the strategy guide. By the way, there's one more Pikmin type we don't have with us right now. Blue Pikmin can survive underwater, but that's their only ability, so they aren't used very often. Oh man, dude, that's still true today. So you don't know when he's coming back? Red Pikmin sighs. You guys, no, I don't, it says finally. I lie down as well to wait. The blue leader is still mumbling. I'm desperate for something to do, you're telling me, man. So I listen to the blue leader's foreign language. Louis, back to the script format of conveying dialogue. I can be useful. I can help. Why does Olimar always have to leave me behind? There are some dead anode beetles there. I could bring them back to the ship. Yeah, that's what I'll do. Olimar will probably not be back for a while. All I have to do is go get the bugs and save us some time. The blue leader suddenly stands up and whistles. Says the red Pikmin as everyone stands at attention. Looks like we'll be bringing back those bug carcasses back to the floating vessel. How do you know? I ask it. I've been around long enough to have done this many times. What a fucking Chad. The blue leader walks away, and we all follow him. I run to the front of the group, eager to partake in whatever task we will be sent to do. The red Pikmin turns out to be right. With a series of beeps, the blue leader instructs us to pick up the beetles and carry them back. I grab a hold of the beetle and 6 other Pikmin to do. We lift it and haul it to the floating vessel. Once there, it is sucked up like the big great thing. We now wait. More Pikmin come, carrying more beetles. We all huddle in the light of the floating vessel. Suddenly, the red leader runs toward us. He has returned, but not from the direction he left by. His eyes are wide. He is obviously in panic. I notice he has returned with 2 yellow Pikmin less than he had with. Oh, then less than he left with. Olimar. Louis, where are you? I told you to stay here. We already knew that. The ball at the end of the red leader's antenna stands up straight and makes a loud clicking noise. A few moments later, the blue leader rushes back to us. The loud click must be how the leaders call each other. Louis hits with, what is it? What'd I do? Olimar says, oh good, you're okay. I told you to stay here and look after the other Pikmin. He says, well yeah, but you see, you left bug bodies and I just wanted to be helpful. Olimar does a fucking ERP sigh. I had an encounter with a Wollywog that fell from the ceiling. It squashed 2 of my yellow Pikmin. I retreated the Pikmin so that I could kill it without taking any more casualties. But you were gone! If there were any more of these hopping bees climbing to the ceiling, then one could have landed on your Pikmin. I could not let that happen. This is one of the reasons I told you to stay here! All the caps! B hangs head. I'm sorry, Cap. Olimar says, I suppose, since you're alright, that no harm was done. But I do expect my orders to be followed next time. And it's Captain, not Cap. I feel like I told you that over 100 times. Unitalic. He says, sorry, Captain. Olimar says, that's better. Now I require the purple pig. The node beetles has already been neutralized, so I will scout out the entire area and eliminate all the Wollywogs. Then I will return and we will gather the bodies. The red leader makes a blast on his whistle, calling the purples to him. Then he walks away with them, leaving the yellows with us. A long time later he returns, and the purple pigmen with him are carrying two strange objects around the flat while the others sought up translucent. He says, Captain, what finds? Olimar. Yes! Louis, one was hidden in a corner, but the other motions to the coin-shaped treasure. Has been ingested by a glint beetle. I nailed it with a direct hit from one of my purple pigmen to uncover the treasure. I get that he's recapping what happened on. This feels like he's describing gameplay. It just comes across as very lazy. I grab onto the tall item, eager to speed up the process of bringing it to the floating vessel. However, I am hoping for only a few seconds before the job is done. The ship's computer says, initiating evaluation of the recovered treasure. The artifact is worth 110 pocos. I hereby dub this object the Crystal King. Olimar. Excellent. Now for the coin. Ship's computer. This artifact is worth 100 pocos. I hereby dub this object the Unknown Merit. I agree, game music. Olimar says, wonderful. Making a lot of progress today. Now to round up the bodies of the beetles and Wollywogs. Both leaders take a troop of Pikmin and lead them off to pick up the rest of the bodies. I go with the red leader, as he tends to be much more decisive and active than them. I want to do as much as possible. But nothing much happens. You can describe most of the chapter with that remark. After all the bodies are in the floating vessel, you're led to a hole that leads... Wow! Once again, the new area looks barely any different than the previous. Such as the fate of the caves in Pikmin 2. It's nice and quiet here, says Luke. I wonder if there isn't much to do on this sub-level. Says, in my opinion, it's too quiet. I'll go scout out the area. You stay here. He says, yes, Captain. As soon as the red leader is a few away from the floating vessel, just a few centimeters tall himself, parentheses. A rock falls from the ceiling and lands in front of him. He runs back to us as the rock begins to crack and smolder. Then, just when the rock looks like it's about to collapse, it explodes! My eyes widen. I'm sure that if I were caught in such a blast, I would be killed instantly. This place is dangerous. Hey, what's up, assassin? Welcome to, Holy shit, it's about to be 5 in the morning. By the time I finish this chapter, it'll probably be 5 in the morning. We might not actually get the proofread tonight. I might have to leave it on a cliffhanger. I was right to scout out the sublevel, says Olimar, but as there seem to be no other threats than bomb rocks around, I will allow you to scout as well, Louis. Louis says, yeah, yes. Olimar says, you take that note. Points! I'll go the other way. We need to cause every bomb rock in the area to explode. That way, we don't have to worry about such a threat. Oh, and if you find anything all caps dangerous, come back to the ship. I don't want you in combat. Louis says, okay, you got it, Cap. Olimar looks at Louis expectantly. Where's this shit? There you go. Then you got Louis with the 10. Olimar. That's better. The two leaders walk off in opposite directions and disappear in the darkness. Every once in a while. Where the fuck was that line? What? Dude, I lost my place. There we go. Every once in a while, I hear an explosion in the distance. I lie down. Italics. When am I ever going to be called out to do stuff, I think to myself. The red leader suddenly comes running back, but he just calls all the purples and dashes off again with them jogging as fast as they can behind him, which is not very fast. Thank you for the unnecessary gratuitous detail. Not long after that, the blue leader returns. He's smiling for some reason. To my surprise, he tweets his whistle, calling all white pigment and a bunch of the reds. Leads us away from the floating vessel, muttering, that was so great. I find 3 dwarf orange bulbul right next to each other. Then I walk over to punch them to death, and a bomb rock falls between them. I step back, and all 3 of them are blown up. And after that, my treasure gauge started growing. I'll just dig up the treasure and bring it back. Olimar is going to be so pleased. Yes, they were right. The blue leader leads us, dead bugs, and instructs some of the red pigmen with a series of beeps and whistles to bring them back to the floating vessel. Then he continues into a cave. There it is! I spy something underground. Instincts take over and I begin to dig. The rest of the white pigmen follow suit. The reds watch. Yeah, I bet the reds love watching. What? Something pokes out of out of the dirt. Instantly, the red pigmen begin to help us dig it out. In no time, we have unearthed the plant bulb. Everyone grabs on and we carry it back. The blue leader follows. Once we get back, the vessel sucks up our prize as usual. However, when we left, there was a bunch of pigmen here, yet I noticed that there are now none but us. Initiating valuation of recovered treasure. This artifact is worth 50 bocos. I hereby dub this object the Anxious Sprout. He hits us with, that's great. Olimar is going to be really happy about this. And then the computer actually talks for some reason. Let's hope so, because you two bicker way too much. As a machine, I am naturally above such squabbles. But of course, I am naturally above you. I am naturally above you. It's italics, period. Both figuratively and italics, literally. Louis rolls eyes, looks around. Hey, I left a bunch of reds and yellows here. Where did they go? Olimar says, I took them. On hearing the voice, I spin around to see the red leader has returned. And bringing back an impressive batch of big dead bugs. Olimar says, I needed all the help I could get bringing back these. Smirks! I have 3 orange bulborbs and 7 dwarf orange bulborbs. Wow, Olimar, says Louis. And you did it without any pigment getting its flower knocked off? Well, no. No, replies Olimar. I found an egg that had some nectar in it, so I healed the injured pigment. I really know how to fight Olimar, says Louis. But I brought back a whole treasure. Really? Replies Olimar. Uh-huh, replies Louis. It's called the Anxious Sprout, and it's worth, 50 bucos, clarifies the computer. Yeah, Louis says, and nothing else, he just says yeah. What the fuck is this story? Why we gotta have this in script format? This is not appealing for me to read out loud. Well, says Olimar. Good job. I was wondering what my treasure gauge deactivated a minute. Anyway, I found the hole to the next sub-level. Let's get going. How long is this first chapter? Dude, I'm barely halfway through it. Oh my god. This is the worst idea I've ever had, man. Last of the bug bodies enter the floating vessel, and everyone, including the blue leader, is led away by the red leader. Another hole comes into view, and we all dive through it. Maybe this is purposeful, like it's supposed to be like Endless 8, Haruhi show. It feels like you're reading the same thing over and over, repeating and repeating and repeating. It's gonna drive me insane. We have already driven half of you insane. It hasn't already driven you to sleep. Hack. Fire spews from tiny geysers on its new floor, but such geysers are everywhere. There are also a few small orange bugs with black spots wandering around, along with strange red critters with long legs. Fireweed weevils among fire geysers, says Olimar. This calls for a red Pikmin sweep. I'll take them and put out the fires while you stay here and keep the rest of the Pikmin from being burnt. Remember, if a Pikmin catches on fire, a loud whistle in its direction will remind it how to put out the flames. Hey, what's up, Knock? Dingus, you're great, but this is mind-numbing. I'm starting to understand why no one's done this before. It's not that no one ever had the idea before me. It's that once you really get into it, you realize, wow, this is just my new. You know what it is? It's 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 a game fact walkthrough. This is a game fact walkthrough, but in script form. I'm basically just getting a gameplay through narrated to me. You know how Let's Plays were like back in the day on Something Awful? It's like that, with extra steps. Way too many extra steps. I know, says Louis. The red leader summons the red Pikmin to knocks off. Whenever he approaches a fiery geyser, the reds whack it with their flowers, stopping it up so that it doesn't spew fire anymore. Eventually, he ventures too far away to be seen. The red leader is gone for a very, very italics long time. The blue leader goes to sleep after a while. And I decide to do the same. Oh man, the blue leader is gonna go to sleep with your assassin. Make sure you make room for him on the bed. I don't know how long I stay asleep, but the voice of the floating vessel wakes me up. Initiating evaluation of recovered treasure. The artifact is worth 150 buckles. I hereby dub this object the Eternal Emerald Eye. Yes, says Olimar. I knew that was a good find. The other treasure should be worth at least that amount as well. Oh man. I think I need to take another sip. Second. I need to sip, man. I need it. If I hear the robot voice again, I will explode. You and me both, man. But it looks like he has some more dialogue. Holy shit. What is it? Says Louis. It appears to be a giant skull, says Olimar. Louis, I don't think I ever told you this, but I have reason to build pod. Interrupts Olimar. Initiating valuation of recovered treasure. The artifact is worth 140 buckles. I hereby dub this object the Colossal Fossil. Why is the computer such a dick? Excellent. Anyway, I have reason to believe that once long ago, enormous beings lived on this planet, the sizes of which you cannot imagine. They must have dominated the planet in ages past before becoming extinct. Extinct? Says Louis. How? There are two possibilities, says Olimar. Either food supplies ran low, which is a possibility, as nothing here is big enough to feed such monstrosities, or the giants somehow managed to wipe themselves out. Further tests will discover the answer. Silence. I noticed that the red leader returned with less reds and more purples than he left with. I suppose this is supposed to imply he used the purple candy pop bud, which transformed non-purple Pikmin. Don't think too hard about it, because I'm sure as fuck not. Well, enough about stuff that doesn't concern us, says Olim. Let's get going. Another hole awaits our descent. We're still in this cave, man? Well, it's accurate to the game, at least. We are led to another hole and jump down. Dude, this really is Endless 8. On landing, I feel energized. Man, can you hand me some of that energy, bro? My nap left me itching for action even more than I had been before it. Sensors indicate that this is the final floor, says the computer. Excellent, says Olimar. Our findings here have been good, and our casualties negligible. Now, what terrible beast lurks at the bottom of this pit? In every dungeon so far, running to some sort of on the final floor. So naturally there should be gasps. Oh no! What is it? Says Luke. There, says Olimar. On the ground. Points! The voice begins to shake. Those eye stalks, I recognize them only too well. Those little sticks are eyes? Says Louis. I hate this shit. Fuck you, Game Trekker. Fuck off. I hate this dude, man. I don't care if he wrote this in between chemistry class and social studies. I want him to die. Louis, calls Olimar. Under that soil lurks a terrible beast. I met one on my first adventure here. His name is Emperor Bulblax. It was the very last bug I faced, and it ingested my secret safe, which contained my life savings. But beating it came at a price. Get it? Because it had his life savings in it. Nearly all of my Pikmin were wiped out. Luckily, I managed to defeat the monstrosity with enough Pikmin to carry the safe back to the ship. But I can't let such a massacre happen here. Well, if you've beaten him before, says Lou, do it again, can't you? Looks at the Pikmin. Takes deep breath. Yes, says Olimar. You're right, it must be done. I've already beaten 2 Empress Bulblaxes. They... ... can't be... ... 2 italics, much harder. That's the spirit, says Louis. Look, me by your side, Emperor Buttocks. Bulblax, says Olimar. Louis, that's terrible. Where is this? Louis, that's terrible. Louis, that's terrible. I agree, Olimar. Finally right. Sorry, Cap, says Louis. What I mean is that we'll work as a team. How did you beat him last time? How are we gonna do it? Well, last time I tricked it into eating bomb rocks, and then pelted it with Pikmin before it could recover. But there are no bomb rocks in sight. My Pikmin were slurped up so fast when he wasn't stunned. Now it's much too dangerous. I have to do this alone. And call me Captain. Louis whines. Captain, I'm here to help you. You won't let me do anything, then I should just go home. Dude, this is not... Like, I've only really played Pikmin 3 to the extent of, say, Room Dukem, playing a Pikmin game all the way through. But even I know this isn't how Louis acts. We read all those reviews about how this is like a top-tier Pikmin story. Oh, this is one of the best Pikmin stories on the website. Nothing comes close. But Louis and Olimar, these motherfuckers are out of character. Like, what is this, man? How is Louis gonna go home anyway? They're in space. Fine, I never asked for you to come with me, says Olimar. It was the president's idea. So what? I've been watching you, says Louis. I know just as well how to move. Pikmin troops? You gotta admit you'll never defeat this big nemesis without my help. We'll both throw Pikmin at it at the same time. We'll do it. Just let me fight, please. Oh, so mundane and boring. Yeah, it is, ain't it, Mr. Punt? I hate how it's like... We need more scenes with the white Pikmin. Everything from the white Pikmin's perspective. There's no point to having the scenes with Olimar and Louis, or they just they describe gameplay mechanics into like a story script more. Like, we don't care. I just don't care, Game Trekker. I just don't. I guarantee you this was like his first playthrough or something, his second playthrough. He's just writing everything he saw in his first playthrough into the story. It's just like, man... We're gonna take another page of the DSP's book. Trim the fat. Trim the fat. There's too much bloat. The game is bloated! It's like you're at a restaurant and you're getting all the tasty side dishes. And I'm not saying the side dishes are bad, but you're getting all the tasty side dishes. Okay, but I'm waiting for the main course. And the main course never comes. Wonder if, as part of the proofreading, I can delete whole sections of the story. That counts as proofreading, doesn't it? Alright, let's listen to them, conversate on how to beat the boss. Very polite of the boss to allow them to have this conversation about how they're gonna defeat him in front of them. Oh, very well, says Olimar. I've defeated him before. We can do it again, says Louis. Each leader calls half of the Pikmin, getting nearly equal shares of each color. I go to the red leader. Both leaders march forward to Sandy Arena, issuing beeps and whistles that tell us to follow them. Red's second, yellow's third, but the whites fourth and last. The whites are fourth place? Ah, just like DSP at Evo. I am annoyed at this. I want to get on the action though. I know not what action we are headed for. Two little tan-colored things are poking out of the sand. I wonder what they are. It's weird because they were just talking about what that was. But I guess he can't understand what they're saying because he's a fucking Pikmin? That was established already. Even I'm losing track of the lore. Okay, Louis, says Olimar. Aim for his face. His back is armored. The most important thing to keep in mind is that when he opens his mouth, get away. Look, dude! It's like we read the strategy guide. We read the strategy guide and they told us how to beat the boss, and we're just copy-pasting that into the story. It makes me want to rope. Don't forget to like this amazing content. Please do. If you're listening to me suffer at 5 in the morning, for some reason, hit the like button, man. Why not? It's free! Alright, chill over. Where were we? Something about, me wanting the rope. Literally, where was I? Okay. The most important thing to keep in mind is that when he opens his mouth, get away. His tongue is very sticky, and any Pikmin that gets touched by it will be eating. 100%. He lifted this line from the strategy guide. His fucking magnum opus. His magnum fucking opus. And it just copies lines from that guide. Oh, he's just like the pig roach, you guys. Also, get away from his shadow when he jumps. Keep your Pikmin close. Attack with everything you've got. Louis tries to stop shaking. Yeah, Captain, you got it. Olimar takes another deep. Right then, let's wake him up. Do we even really need to wake him up though? Like, you don't need to 100% all these caves, man. I just leave him to die. The red leader grabs a hold of the purple Pikmin behind him and flings it almost vertically into the air. There is a resounding thud as the Pikmin hits the ground next to the red leader. Almost immediately, sand is blasted upward, and the two little tan things are raised up onto the top of a gigantic monster of the same color. Could have introduced the monster a little better than that. Half of the monster is taken up by its pudgy head and disgustingly huge mouth, from which saliva slowly drips. The other half looks like a big, moss-covered rock. My tiny frame is nearly blown over by the behemoth's rising. Olimar yells, "Now!" Both leaders begin pelting the monster with streams of thrown purple Pikmin. Purples land hard on the monster's face, clinging to it and whacking it repeatedly with their flowers. The monster groans in pain and opens its mouth. Olimar yells, "Get away!" The leaders now turn and run from the monster, beeping loudly to tell us to follow close. The monster's tongue emerges and sweeps the sand. With my superior speed, I easily run well out of the tongue's reach, but 4 of the blue leader's yellow Pikmin are slurped up by it. They are then pulled screaming into the monster's gaping maw, never to be seen again. The monster thrashes around, shaking off the Pikmin on its head. Its mouth then opens again, the tongue comes out, but goes back in without success. Olimar, now! Back towards the monster, flinging Pikmin at it. The red leader exhausts his supply of purples and moves on to the reds, while the blue leader randomly throws away Pikmin with it. I suddenly wish I had joined him instead. I don't care if this beast is the scariest thing I've ever seen in my short so far life. I want to fight! Yet, not all my fellows seem to share in that desire. Some are purposefully getting to the bag. Apparently, y'all look similar. Not all of us have the same personality. Suddenly, the monster squats low to the ground and then jumps upward. All the Pikmin on it are flung off to leave the whistle, calling the Pikmin to regroup. shadow appears over the blue leader's forces. He notices and runs, but not fast enough. The monster returns to the earth right on top of his troops, instantly crushing a few purples and numerous reds. They didn't stand a chance. They were wrong. The red leader resumes pelting the monster. Enraged! The blue leader does as well. Dude, Louis, this is nothing like Louis. Louis would not act like this, man. But throws more wildly than ever. Some of his Pikmin land on the monster's back and bounce off. However, one of his remaining red Pikmin lands on one of the monster's eyes. Instantly, there is a spurt of red blood in the monster. Monster reaps in pain, throwing off the red blood. You want it to be edgy. It ain't that serious, kid. Here. The monster's tongue comes lashing out in the red leader's direction, catching him off guard. He beeps off a retreat signal, but too late. 5 yellows, 16 reds, and one of my fellow whites are swept up by the tongue. This shit reads so weird in the now compared to in the back then. The screams still echo around the cavern after the Pikmin are eternally silenced in the monster's stomach. A split-second later, the monster burns slightly, sending a few vapors into the air. I wonder what caused that. It's kind of stupid. The white understands that they got eaten up, but he doesn't understand what the white represents. And the monster jumps again. This time lands right back where it jumped from. Bro, we're just describing the boss battle at this point. However, the force of its focused collision with the ground knocks every Pikmin into the air. There is instant pandemonium. Every Pikmin begins running in every direction. I run towards the red leader, faintly hearing the whistles of the leader as he tries desperately to regroup us. Right when I get to the red leader, he has already caught a purple Pikmin by the stem above its head. Whirling it about, he throws it at the monster, which was just about to unleash its tongue again. Seeing me runs toward him. Red leader grabs me and hurls me at the monster as well. I see the purple Pikmin hit the monster, landing directly on its unhurt eye. Blood gushes forth, and the monster's tongue is sucked back in. I land, grasping onto the blinded monster with my claws. I whack its forehead repeatedly with my pink flower. Other Pikmin are thrown up as well. I hear terrible howls from the monster as it is pummeled. A sudden violent shake throws me off. Luckily, I land on my rear, rather than my flower, which could have been ripped clean off. I look up at the monster. It is wreathing and thrashing, roaring at the top of its lungs, flinging spit and blood everywhere. Its tongue wriggles out, flailing in the air. Okay, do I need to... Maybe I need to get a visual aid here, because not all of you guys have played Pikmin. You need to understand the beast that we are facing off against here. I don't think GameTrekker does it justice. So if you need a visual aid, here is one. The behemoth we're describing that we're squaring off against here. It's like this. So edgy for no reason. Well, he said in the description it's supposed to be a unredacted interpretation of the events of Pikmin 2. Okay, here is the boss. This is what GameTrekker wants you to be so afraid of. This fucking thing was the final boss of the first game, and it's like... And he's nerfed in Pikmin 2. It's supposed to be a Pikmin 2 story, but they reduced him in size. He's not as terrifying as he was in the first game, so... This is a thing spewing spit and blood everywhere. Yeah, it pretty much looks like the guy, doesn't it? You got the snort. He has snort sacks. Yeah, and he's got the lip thing with the tongue, and he's got gout. Look at his gout foot, and he's got like a big green hunchback situation. I'm pretty sure Dave doesn't have all right posture. Dude, this is pretty much Dave the monster. He lost the plot of his own story. You mean his own walkthrough? Yeah, he's got mold. It's just that his mold is green and not pink, and in Jasper's dish bowl. There's your visual aid. That's the monster of the hour that we're fighting. I'll, as we continue in future streams, I'll probably consider having more blades, because I know not everyone is into Pikmin. Obviously, some context would help you out. Alright, I was actually getting into this action scene. Yeah, we need more action scenes. I look up at the monster. It is writhing and thrashing, roaring at the top of its lungs, flinging spit and blood everywhere. Its tongue wriggles out, flailing in the air. Then it stops abruptly. The monster falls on its face and moves no more. Well, actually, it does move once. With a mighty belch, it releases a big shiny object onto the sand. The leaders slowly gather up the remaining Pikmin and count them. There are only 20, 6 reds, 21 yellows, and 4 whites left. The population has gone from 93 before the battle, parentheses, to 54. Oh, man. I'm out of breath just reading that. So what makes me think that this is lifted entirely from his playthrough is shit like this where he tells us specifically how many Pikmin he has left. Mix that with stuff literally lifted from the strategy guide, and you got yourself the quote-unquote best Pikmin fanfiction ever. Hey, what's up, Trunks? If you want an explanation, rewind the stream. I'm not gonna explain myself again, man. I'm gringing so hard at 5 AM, you fucking know it. That's 39 casualties, says Olimar. 4 purple, 9 yellow, only 1 white, but a whopping 25 red. I suppose this actually went quite well though. We still have a vast surplus of red Pikmin. Let's hardly put a dent in that population. Plus, I have also decided on a name for this dungeon. It shall be called the Bulblax Kingdom. But the important thing is that we won. Emperor Bulblax has been dethroned once more. We did it! We did it! Now admit it, Captain. You needed me. Without my help, the battle would have been 5 times as long and much worse. Please, God, no. No, we need Louis. We need Louis. I'm not... No. Hey, Carl. Yeah, sorry. I booted up late. You'll have to catch it on the rewind. We did a whole GameTrekker's segment on his fanfiction.net profile. I looked into his favorite authors, looked at his Kirby stories, we read the reviews, we started reading his chapter like 2 hours, we started reading his Pikmin story 2 hours after the planned start time. That's cool. I don't think... It's already 5 AM. I think I'm just gonna read it, and we'll leave that on a cliffhanger and pick it up the next time for the actual segment, because I'm drained just reading this, bro. But I hope you're doing. Oh, Carl. Hello, JC. Big ups for being here the whole time, or at least for a little bit. It's 3 AM. Well, I mean, I understand you're in that time zone, JC, but think about it. Even considering that it's 3 o'clock, don't you still think that's a fucked up time to start a live stream? Yeah, next time on GameTrekker's. I think we'll probably keep this as Sundays. I think this is a good time slot for it. The only other time I would see myself doing this versus, say, a stream where I play a game and, you know, I have fun. Only other time I would see myself doing that is a day off. DSP's day off. Not my own day off. Days off. It's my own days off for I want to have fun for myself. Ack. I think we'll keep this as Sundays for right now. All the series mad at the dents. I thought Dingus Dissects it was pretty good. It's like, it's got that alliteration in. You did provide a fair amount of necessary assistance, says Olimar. However, you need to work on your reflexes. Our death count would have been much lower. How do you manage to get your Pikmin out of the way of the Emperor Bulblax's falling body after he jumped the first? Red Leader then stops talking. Said he can direct his Pikmin to pick up the body of the monster and the object that fell out of it. I rushed to pick up the object and therefore missed what the blue says. I began listening again once I had picked up the item. I'll never be able to understand their language. Slightly entertaining to hear. I'm not gonna argue with you, says Olimar. I am definitely not being, quote-unquote, ungrateful. I was just pointing out where you do some improvement. Help of other Pikmin. The item is safe and sound in the vessel. Initiating evaluation of recovered treasure. The artifact is worth 100 Pokos. I hereby dub this object the Forged Courage. In addition, on analyzing the substance of the Forged Courage is made up of, I have discovered that it is 100% fireproof. Olimar, stand under me, re. Another upgrade, says Louis. Oh boy! The leaders walk over to us and stand in the light of the floating vessel. Their bodies glow bright white for a second, but then the light fades. Nothing seems different. I have fitted your spacesuits with a scorched guard. You can now walk through fire without suffering damage, says the computer. Excellent, says Olimar. This is great, says Louis. We just got the powers to hit harder and move faster from the last cave. Shut up, Knock. I know this is only chapter 1. Can you believe when I was taking notes? I was taking notes earlier, because of course I have notes for this fucking piece of shit stream. I said, I'm looking at it right now. In my notes I have, do the profile and then 1 or 2 chapters. Oh, this is only 9 chapters. That review said she read the story in 4 hours. What a fucking liar. What an absolute scum. Absolute villain. You think I'm the villain? Fuck you. They're the villain. Why is it written like a screenplay? I went over this earlier, Carl. Your guess is as good as mine. It's weird, Carl, because you'll see it. I don't know why they do this. I don't know why they do this. But for Olimar Louis in the computer's dialogue, it's written like a script. But the rest of the story is written like a regular story. It's just only when these guys talk, it's in script form. When, like, say... Scroll up. I'm gonna lose my place, I'm getting mad. Okay, how about this? The red Pikmin size, no I don't, it says finally. So, look at that. I have no idea, it answers. I was just plugged yesterday. It then points at another red Pikmin. Go ask that one. He's the oldest Pikmin here. It like switches... It switches to like a normal story when the Pikmin are talking, but only when the Pikmin talk. When it goes back to Olimar, it becomes a TV show script again. I noticed, too, Carl, because I looked ahead in his Kirby second revision story. Once it hits chapter 17, it gets to a point where the stories start becoming more like rough drafts because he lost the motivation to write. So I think he got embarrassed about the script format he had for these other stories, and he tried to revise it and kind of unify the stories so that it wasn't a mishmash of styles. But I noticed in the second Kirby review, he kind of half-assed it, so some of the characters still have the script format, and in other characters don't. And in other characters, he removed the name, but he forgot to remove the colon. So you'll have weird strings of dialogue that start with the colon, because he forgot to remove the colon, because he's fucking stupid. It'd be like that sometimes. Inside the Scorch Guard. The dead monster arrives and is sucked up as well. And now to find the exit geyser. Oh, wait a minute. My treasure gauge still says there's treasure in the sub-level. Let's go find that instead. Sorry for derailing, dude. No, that's fine. It's probably my biggest critique with this story. I hate the script shit, man. Keep the script shit in elementary school where it belongs. The red leader calls all the Pikmin to him. Come with me, Louis, says Olimar. There can't be any more bugs around. Oh man, it's not enough that we gotta plagiarize the strategy guide and do like a walkthrough situation where we just talk about our own playthrough and LARP like it's a story. We also got 100% completionist the game, so we're not allowed to just leave the Bulbax's cave. We gotta actually 100% the cave in the story before we move on to the next cave. Oh boy. The red leader calls us to the far side of the arena. where there is a strange section of the wall that is made up of white roots. He instructs us to tear it down. All 54 of us swarm the wall, smacking it with our but I notice not all of us have flowers. Some of the Pikmin around me are striking the leaf, which is growing our shit. These leaf-bearing Pikmin are working much slower than the rest of us. They must have gotten their flowers knocked off during the battle with them. I suddenly feel very sorry. Their flowers will never grow back without nutrients around. I doubt replanting is something that can be done. Wall is destroyed within seconds. On the other side lies a huge puddle. I don't know how to swim, so I'd better not be told to go in. What the fuck? We're already disobeying orders. There are paths around the puddle, however. One leads— oh my god, are we describing the actual level? No! Leads off to the left, but there is a large geyser spout. Like, you should be allowed to take liberties as an author when it comes to adapting a game like this, and literally describing the level to me that I may have already played if I'm looking for fanfiction on Pikmin 2 is not what I'm not here for this, sir. The other goes to the right and ends in fire geysers. I can see more flames in the darkness across the puddle. Olimar addresses the pod! I thought you said there were no more water puddles in his dungeon. That was why I didn't bring any blue Pikmin. Pod says, my sensors don't reach this far underground. I usually assume that whatever lies above is a good indication of what lies below. I am not at fault. The fuck is wrong with this computer? Should have left that shit on Windows 9.
Right?
Louis, Olimar says, I'll be taking the reds. I'm going to see if the treasure can be attained without the Pikmin having to go through this mess. Why the reds, says Louis. I need to put out the fires. Don't you use your eyes, says Olimar. Oh, yeah, but, says Louis. The red leader whistles the 8 reds to him and walks off to the right. After a while, he returns without the reds. What happened to your pit? Says Louis. I threw them up on a bridge, says Olimar, and addresses the pod. I'm going to have to walk through some fire to get up to that ledge. Are you sure I won't get up? I cannot visualize what he's trying to describe here for the life of me. Maybe don't have shit in script format if you want me to understand what the fuck I'm writing about. The good news is we're almost to the end. Of course, I'm sure. No, this is the computer. Of course, I'm sure. As a machine, I am incapable of error. Olimar smirks. Well then, why did you tell me there were no puddles in here? Paradox detected. Cannot compute. Switch it to bar. Saving mode. It's like the worst sentence in the fic by far. That's better, says Olimar. The red leader walks off again, but this time he wades out into the water. I wonder why he had returned without the reds. Are they dead? After another period of time, the red leader returns again. 8 Pikmin isn't quite enough to move the treasure. I'll need the 4 whites. My excitement, the red leader calls us 4 white Pikmin. He leads us along the right side of the puddle and to a ledge. I notice the right Pikmin have stopped up all the fiery geysers in the area. The red leader then throws each of us onto a ledge and walks away. Walks up a little flaming ramp in the distance before coming over on the ledge. He calls to us again and leads us to a brown— Dude, I don't give a fuck! Why is this in the story? The red Pikmin I am relieved to see are trying to move. We help them lift it and take it back to the floating vessel. After going back down the ledge, I notice that the Pikmin next to me is the red Pikmin I spoke about, the red leader being absent a while back. The older Pikmin had survived the battle. You made it, I say in delight as the story abandons script format yet again. You weren't killed. That's right, it replies. I see you pulled through. Good job. I think I'm going to stay in my seed hut. Seed hut for the next couple of days. Sounds like something Derek would say. I'm tired of all this battling. I wish I knew when the leaders are planning to go in another hole, but no one understands their language. The beeps and whistles they make. Yeah. By the way, At one point during the battle, one of my fellow white pigmen was eaten by the monster. Right after that, the monster exhaled a bit of purple vapor. What was that? You mean you don't know you're poisonous? That was the evaporated blood of your fellow you saw. If any bug is stupid enough to eat you, you'll be able to hurt it from the inside after you die. I've seen the Red Leader feed a bunch of white pigmen to the monster he was having a real difficulty beating. The monster threw up, burning a hole in its own throat. Easy kill. Ow. Don't cut yourself on that edge, homie. I'm pretty sure that's not how it worked in the game, man. What, is this supposed to cause an existential crisis in my white pigman, our white pigman pal here? I widened my eyes in horror. The Red Leader would never let his pigman die on purpose, I shriek. That's horrible. I'll tell it like it is, man. If he thinks he can save 60 pigmen by letting 15 kick the bucket, he'll do it. That little endeavor saved my life along with many others. I decided not to respond. That topic was a little too scary to think about. We arrived at the floating vessel. Initiating evaluation of recovered treasure. The artifact is worth 250 pocos. I hereby dub this object the Gyroid Bust. Now that's a treasure. 150 pocos. Not bad, hey Louie? That's great, Captain. Can we go now? Everyone follows the leaders up the big geyser. The leaders jump into it and us pigmen follow suit. Up and up we go! The water shoots us out into open air. What an immense place this is. Soaring into the vast sky, I see a whole gigantic world below, just waiting to be explored. I feel more excited than ever. Landing back on the ground, the leaders begin to speak again. While listening, I continue to look. The area is lush and green. Life is everywhere. Boy, I am tired, says Olimar. Yeah, I'm tired too, bro. What time is it? About midday, answers Louis. Well, I'm going to the ship to rest. Could you do me the favor of giving the leaf-bearing pigmen some nectar? Have them search the grass over there. Points! Put them in their onions when you're done and call it a day. Remember, the white and purple pigmen both go on the ship. Yeah, I remember. Hey, I just remember that we never got around to trying the bitter spray. You said we'd do that today. Oh, that's Olimar. Oh, sorry. I forgot. We'll do that tomorrow. Okay, says Louis. Have a good sleep, cat. Olimar looks at Louis expectantly. Louis, 10. That's better, says Olimar. Good night. The Red Leader walks away and is sucked up by the floating vessel. It's perched itself, top of the big machine thing. The Blue Leader separates into leaf bearers and flower bearers. Flower bearers. I can't even read anymore. He then gives his flower bearer a beeping signal to return to our groups, but I don't know what that means. The yellow and red flower bearers walk to what must be their colored seed huts, which are big fruit-like things with flowers on top and 3 long legs coming down. Come with us, whites, calls the voice of a purple pigman. Follow. The purple lead us to a machine on which the floating vessel rests. A nozzle on the machine's right side makes a sucking noise. Purple pigmen dive into it. Us whites follow. I can't take this story seriously with how it raises whites all the time. I now see what is undoubtedly the machine's storage room, because its interior does not look like that of a machine. I shall refer from now on as the storage vessel. I am now face-to-face with a bunch more purple and white pigmen. They all greet us newcomers by telling us about where we are and how going in and out of this place works. I'm relieved that everything is being explained. When it's over, I take a better look around the place. The leaders, as I have gathered, are collectors, but of what I can't really say. The objects we brought to the floating vessel today are all here, plus many others that must have been collected on days past. Bug bodies also litter the place. The whole room smells of fertile soil. It's the perfect place for a good night's rest. Oh, man. Ladies and gentlemen, we did it! Chapter 1 of Through Red Eyes. That's earned a sip, I think. And it's only 5 in the morning. Some nice H2O to pick me up there. All right, we still got the author's note. It's way too late to proofread. Now I did proofread him at some points. I did give him some critique, but the full proofread with my word pad here is we're gonna have to sit on it, man. We'll save it for next time. I can't. I literally can't. I can't, bro. Like, you guys get to sit and, like, get skip juice or tune out and do something else. I had to read all of that and try to actively visualize it in my head. It's finally over. I've had enough of Pikmin fanfiction forever. But don't get too excited. We're only just starting the series. Alright, his author's note from back in the day.
Well, how do you like it so far? I fucking despise it. This is my second work of fiction. It will span this Pikmin's entire life.
From its planning, its inevitable death. I had to start this story slow, but it will pick up. It's like when you're recommending a game to a friend. Hey Tevin, Final Fantasy IX gets good 80 hours in. However, these chapters, or quote-unquote days, parentheses, are much longer than the chapters in my previous work. Yeah, I can tell. So don't expect as recent updates.
Ian?
Yes, I know that a lot of things in the Bullblack's battle aren't possible in the game. It could have fooled me, because it sounds like you stole it straight from the guidebook. But you have to admit, it made for an interesting fight. No, it did not. It was very drawn out and lengthy. I tried my best to read through it with like an action kind of take, but it only made me more exhausted. It only made me more exhausted. I'm going to make the Pikmin world a bit more realistic than it was in the games. It sounds like you're just describing the games verbatim. So hang on tight. You're in for a wild ride! No, to all of those who own a... Wait. I was joking. No, to all of those of you who own a Pikmin 2 strategy guide. Oh my god, GameTrekker. GameTrekker. Is this how you handheld people back in the day? I wouldn't be able to be writing this fanfic without... Oh... Dude, I was just making fun of him! He actually used the This story is fake! This is fake! He stole this from the guidebook! I wouldn't be able to be writing this fanfic without one! I am pleased to say that it has allowed me to obtain every single treasure in the game and beat challenge mode with all pink flowers. But anyway, if you have the guide, use it to follow along while you read this story! The plagiarist! Big ups plagiarism! As GameTrekker's English teacher, I'm giving him a 0 for the day. That will show you how well it follows the game. The beginning of this story takes place in the Bullblack's Kingdom, sub-level 3. Oh, dude, this explains so much. So, this story is essentially GameTrekker describing his playthrough of the game, like a Let's Play on something awful. Because this is around the time when that shit was just starting out and getting popular. So we got specific terminology here, like specific points. He'll talk about how many Pikmin he has. Like here, the group is made up of 38 red, 32 yellows, and 20 purples. This isn't accidental. This is on purpose. He's describing how many Pikmin he had at the time that he played the game and was at this point. And then you have other shit. I swear to God, when he's describing the boss battle, it's him reading the guide of how to beat the boss, and he acts like he put action in it and made it so much more interesting and it's compelling. And then you have other shit like the the red Pikmin, the elder red Pikmin, describing to him all the strengths and abilities of the other Pikmin, lifted from the guide. Describing the level design, lifted from the guide. Oh yeah, I totally believe GameTrekker when he says, there was no way he could have written this without the guide. Yeah, I agree, Zitrozilla C. Wikipedia and strategy guides are not valid sources!
Can't put them in your bibliography.
But I got so much to say. And I gotta, like, actually proofread this. It'll have to be on another night. The worst thing about it has gotta be the script format and how inconsistent it is. I don't care if he's trying something special here where only Olimar and Louis use it. It just takes me out of it. I hate the action shit too, like we're fucking role-playing. With hyphen whines, hyphen looks at the Pikmin, hyphen takes deep breath. Like, that takes me out of the story. I'm not immersed at all. He doesn't even do it right. You need asterisks if you're shit like that. It's just... no. For other isolated complaints.
Captain!
We don't need that. Get rid of that.
Please read.
Get out of there. Get rid of that too. We don't need that. Anything else where it's like all caps? Like here, Olimar, now! Olimar, get away! Olimar, now! We don't need this. Like, you can convey that the character is yelling without doing all caps. It's childish. Another night, Dingus, it's almost 6 AM. Yeah, that's why I'm saying another night. Now, to be fair, this was... we didn't spend the whole stream on this one chapter. We did have to do the introduction. So, future streams should be easier. I'm thinking future streams, we'll be able to do one chapter and then the proofread all in one go. But it's just, this was the intro and me going over and shit. And then reading the actual chapter. It's got a bit too long. Got lost in the sauce. Let's see, anything else I want to whine about? Off the top of my head, nothing I can see. I'm sure I'll have more when I force myself to read through it again. Did I already read the famous Kirby fanfic? We read pieces through it earlier in the stream. Like, I checked out... This was the chapter I was talking about, Carl, where there was, like, inconsistency. Like, he got embarrassed about people critiquing the script format, so he tried to fix it and make it like a normal story. But as you can see, the colons are still there. He forgot to remove them. And then you have the captain here, who he forgot to remove the name and the colon, so very inconsistent here. And then you have Follow Anyway said gooey with a note of frustration in his voice as the warp star flew down the Kirby. So, you know, all around, it's amateur hour. The reviews were probably the most interesting part. This guy, Carl, the Mario Brothers, this is a middle schooler who was so upset that the second Kirby fanfiction stopped. He offered to be like in Arkham edits for the guy. Here. I would like to help you with the story. I will fix mistakes that are found in the completed chapters, and then make a sort of rough draft for the chapters you have not written yet. You wanted the Kirby community cloud. This is ridiculous. And then he doxes his high school. He doxes his high school. No, his middle school. He doxes his middle school. No! Who even are you, the Mario Brothers? Magnet program nationally ranked #1. Hashtag behind on my work. Hashtag end of year. I hope you accept my help. Right on! Get it? Because it's like the phrase right on with an R. But it's like right as in you're writing. This dude wanted to be Arkham edits for GameTrekker. Like, it's already sad that you're carrying water for fucking Dave. But imagine carrying water for the guy who carries water for Dave! They were wrong. But that's all I got, guys. I'm tapped. I'm done. I'm done. I wanna crawl up and go to bed and never come back out again. What did we learn today? Let's pull out the notes. What did we learn today? Oh yeah, the DSP comment. This reads like it was super crazy. Ack.
Stop wording this shit and pay me more for my streams. I've got huge bills coming.
Big up super crazy. Love that guy. It probably wasn't him though, but I could see him typing this. Overall, what did we learn? We learned all the mechanics of Pikmin 2 as expressed in text form. And we learned that this was the worst idea of my life. And don't read dented fanfics at 3 in the morning. I wish it was still 3. Then I might actually get 2 more hours of sleep compared to the amount of sleep that I'm actually gonna get. Big ups Pikmin 2 strategy guide. Yeah, that's right. If you ever want to make a story on an old game, just pick up the strategy guide. You already have the story right there written for you. Just do a little bit of formatting or just turn it into a TV pilot script and you're good to go. Alright. Yeah, that's it. We'll see you guys on the next fanfiction stream. And maybe we'll have a YouTube pre-stream this week. But I'm basically Jade right now. Not DSP Jade. Fire Emblem Jade. This Jade right here. Look how tired she is. This is me when I'm writing. Read Fred Carl fanfiction? That exists? Yeah, whatever. Big ups everyone. Thank you for stopping by. I need to get some shut-eye. We'll proofread this chapter on the next one. Let's get the music ready to go. I can't raid because sucks. Just leave you depressed.
Ah, yes, another successful stream.
Thanks for stopping by, everyone. Big ups to the swollen ones who made it to the end of this 3-hour diatribe, like JC, Mr. Pun, Knock, Assassin, Carl, bye Carl, Zidro Zealousy, Rummy89, Almighty _ Tevin, who took it upon himself to curse and punish his viewership by extending this disgusting stream to the masses over on Twitch. Luna, Almighty Goki, Big Ben, Duka, Doomer Ziggy, Juzzy51. Who else fell for this fucking scam stream? Right, Drake. He only showed up at the start. Idiot. What a fake fan. Nurgle. And, Kuro. Forgotten Locale. I didn't even see his name. Now I do. Great stream. Thank you, Tevin. My voice is exhausted. I see Meerkat is live, Tevin. How convenient that I end right as he does. I want everyone who is listening to the sound of my voice. I'm owed 1 gay op. as Donga said. For suffering this 3-hour fic read. Go to Meerkat stream and say Dingus raid or expand dong raid, and he's gonna be like, who is expand dong? I don't know who that is. And if you do that, you'll get like a cookie from me or something, and then we can get the Meerkat shout out. And tell him I was reading GameTrekker fanfiction. So I have suffered the most today compared to anyone else who would potentially suffer today. I would raid, but I am unable to because to raid you need to be a cool guy with 500 subscribers, or is it 1,000, or is it 500? Who fucking knows and who cares? All right, I'm out of here. Tell them that I sent you, figuratively.